Once upon a time, in a picturesque village nestled between rolling green hills and the sparkling river, there was a young girl named Arya. Arya lived with her father, a humble woodworker, in a cozy cottage at the edge of the village. Though they were not wealthy, their lives were filled with love and music, as Arya had inherited her late mother's talent for playing the violin. Arya's violin was special. It had been crafted by her mother and was said to have an enchantment that could move hearts and even change the world. The village of Harmonyville was named after its love for music, and every evening, Arya would play her violin in the village square, bringing joy and peace to everyone who heard her. One evening, as Arya played a particularly beautiful melody, a mysterious old man with a long, flowing beard and kind eyes approached her. He listened intently until she finished and then introduced himself as Maestro, the guardian of musical magic. "Arya," Maestro said in a voice as smooth as velvet, "your music holds great power, but the enchantment within your violin has faded over time. To restore its full magic, you must embark on a journey to the enchanted grove and find the melody of the stars. Only then will your music reach its true potential." Determined to restore the magic of her violin, Arya set out on her journey the next morning. Maestro gave her a map that would guide her through the whispering forest to the enchanted grove. With a heart full of hope and a satchel packed with essentials, Arya ventured into the forest. As she walked along the winding paths, Arya encountered a talking bluebird named Lyric, who offered to guide her through the densest part of the forest. Lyric's cheerful psalms kept Arya's spirits high as they made their way to the first challenge, a riddle posed by an ancient oak tree named Elderwood. "To continue your journey," Elderwood said in a deep, resonant voice, "you must solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and then replied, "An echo." Elderwood's branches rustled in approval, and he revealed a hidden path that led to a shimmering lake where a graceful swan named Serenade awaited her. "To cross this lake," Serenade said, "you must prove your courage. Beneath the water lies a sunken treasure chest containing a golden key. Dive deep and retrieve the key, and I will ferry you across." Without hesitation, Arya dove into the clear, cool water. She swam down to the lake bed, where she found the treasure chest. Opening it, she retrieved the golden key and swam back to the surface. Serenade, impressed by her bravery, transformed into a beautiful boat and ferried Arya across the lake. On the other side of the lake, Arya entered the enchanted grove, where the air was filled with the soft hum of magical melodies. In the center of the grove stood a pedestal with a celestial lyre, its strings glowing with the light of 1,000 stars. This was the melody of the stars that Maestro had spoken of. As Arya approached the lyre, a gentle voice filled the grove. "To restore your violin's magic, you must play a melody that comes from the depths of your heart. Only true emotion can awaken the lyre's power." Arya took her violin and began to play a tune that spoke of her love for her father, her late mother, and the joy that music brought to her village. As she played, the strings of the celestial lyre resonated with her violin, creating a harmony so beautiful that it brought tears to her eyes. A brilliant light enveloped the grove, and Arya felt the magic of the melody of the stars flow into her violin. When the light faded, she knew that her violin's enchantment had been restored. With her heart full of gratitude, Arya returned to Harmonyville. That evening, she played her violin in the village square, and the music was more enchanting than ever before. The villagers felt a profound sense of peace and happiness, and even the stars seemed to twinkle in time with her melody. Maestro appeared once more, smiling warmly. "You have done well, Arya. Your music now holds the magic to bring joy and healing to all who hear it. Remember, the true magic lies within your heart." From that day on, Arya's music became legendary, and Harmonyville flourished under the spell of her enchanting melodies. Her story was passed down through generations, a testament to the power of music and the magic that can be found in a kind and courageous heart. And so, Arya and her enchanted violin continued to bring harmony to the world, their music a beacon of hope and joy for all who listened. Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom called Harmonia, music flowed through every corner of the land. The kingdom was known for its enchanting melodies, which came from the great music tree that stood in the center of the royal gardens. The tree was said to be blessed by the muses, and its leaves, when rustled by the wind, created melodies that brought joy and peace to the entire realm. However, one fateful morning, the melodies stopped. The great music tree stood silent, its once vibrant leaves now still and lifeless. The people of Harmonia were filled with sadness, as the music that had always been a part of their lives was now gone. The king, troubled by the silence, called upon the kingdom's most skilled musicians, but none could revive the tree's magical melody. Among them was a young girl named Eloan, a humble violinist with a heart full of music. Though she was young, her talent and passion for music were unmatched. Seeing the sorrow of her fellow villagers, Eloan decided to embark on a journey to restore the melody of the great music tree. The wise old minstrel of Harmonia, who had once spoken of a legendary artifact known as the Harmony Stone, told Eloan that this stone had the power to restore lost melodies. It was said to be hidden in the Forest of Echoes, a mysterious place where sounds often got lost or distorted. With a heart full of hope and a violin slung over her shoulder, Eloan set off toward the Forest of Echoes. As she entered the forest, she noticed the surroundings seemed to hum with a faint, dissonant melody. The trees were tall and dense, their leaves creating a maze of shifting shadows. Eloan's path was obstructed by a mischievous sprite named Leora, who thrived on confusion and riddles. Leora blocked Eloan's way and presented her with a series of musical challenges, each more perplexing than the last. Despite the challenges, Eloan's unwavering resolve and her deep understanding of music allowed her to solve the riddles and continue her journey. As Eloan ventured deeper into the forest, she came across a serene clearing bathed in soft moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a crystal-clear pond, and at the bottom of the pond rested the Harmony Stone, glowing with a soft, inviting light. However, the pond was guarded by a gentle but stern water nymph named Niev. To retrieve the Harmony Stone, Niev said, "You must perform a melody that resonates with the essence of the forest. Only then will the stone reveal itself." Eloan took a deep breath and began to play her violin. She played a melody that was not only beautiful but also captured the spirit of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the whisper of the wind, and the gentle trickle of the stream. The notes seemed to blend perfectly with the sounds of the forest, creating a harmonious symphony that enchanted Niev. Moved by the melody, Niev allowed Eloan to retrieve the Harmony Stone. As soon as Eloan touched the stone, it emitted a brilliant light that filled the clearing with a soothing glow. Eloan thanked Niev and made her way back to Harmonia with the precious artifact. When Eloan returned to the great music tree, she carefully placed the Harmony Stone at the tree's base. The stone's light enveloped the tree, and slowly, its leaves began to rustle once more. The melodies that had been lost returned, flowing through the kingdom with a renewed vibrancy and joy. The people of Harmonia rejoiced as the music filled the air once again. The great music tree sang with a melody that was more enchanting than ever before, and the kingdom thrived with the sound of happiness and harmony. Eloan was celebrated as a hero, and the story of her brave journey and her magical violin became a beloved tale in Harmonia. The great music tree stood as a symbol of hope and the power of music, reminding everyone that even in times of silence, a pure heart and a true melody could restore the magic of the land. And so, Harmonia continued to flourish, forever touched by the lost melody that had been found once more, thanks to the courage and talent of a young girl who never gave up on the music of her heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Etheria, there was a legendary compass said to possess magical powers. This compass was rumored to guide its bearer to their deepest desires, but it had been lost for centuries. The tale of the compass was a favorite among the villagers, who would often tell stories of its wonders around the hearth. In a small village nestled at the edge of a great forest, lived a young girl named Ayla. Ayla was known for her boundless curiosity and adventurous spirit. Her father, a humble craftsman, had told her stories of the enchanted compass when she was a child, and she grew up dreaming of finding it. One day, while exploring the attic of her family's cottage, Ayla stumbled upon an old, dusty chest. Inside, she found a faded map and an ancient journal belonging to her great-grandfather, who was an explorer. The map depicted a route through the forbidden forest, which led to a place marked with a golden star. The journal mentioned a compass that could be found there. Excited by her discovery, Ayla decided to embark on a journey to find the enchanted compass. She packed a small bag with essentials, including some food, a lantern, and a sturdy rope, and set off early the next morning. The Forbidden Forest was known for its magical creatures and mysterious happenings. As Ayla ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a mischievous fox named Finn. Finn had sparkling green eyes and a playful grin. "Hello there," Finn called out. "What brings you to the heart of the Forbidden Forest?" Ayla explained her quest to find the enchanted compass. Finn, intrigued by her determination, offered to help her, but with one condition: she must first solve a riddle. "Here's the riddle," Finn said, "to guide you on your way. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Ayla thought carefully and answered, "A joke." Finn clapped his paws in delight and led Ayla to a hidden path, covered in soft, glowing moss. The path wound through the forest and eventually opened up to a clearing with a shimmering pond. Beside the pond, there was an old willow tree with long, graceful branches that seemed to sway even though there was no wind. Perched on a branch was a wise old owl named Orla. To find the enchanted compass, Orla hooted, "You must prove your bravery and heart. Answer this question: what is something that you can hold in your hand, but is not tangible, and can be given away yet still remain with you?" Ayla pondered the question and replied, "A promise." Orla nodded approvingly and told Ayla that the path to the compass lay across the pond. The only way to cross was to use the lily pads floating on the water, which were enchanted to reveal themselves only to those who had proven their worth. With a deep breath, Ayla stepped onto the lily pads, which glowed softly under her feet, guiding her safely to the other side of the pond. There, she found a small, ornate chest hidden beneath the roots of a giant tree. The chest was adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. As Ayla opened the chest, she found the enchanted compass nestled inside. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was an old, abandoned lighthouse. The villagers often spoke of the lighthouse with a mix of fear and fascination, for it was said to house a magical lantern that could grant wishes to those who were truly kind of heart. In the village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her generosity and bright spirit. She often helped her neighbors, tended to the village's garden, and cared for stray animals. Mira had always dreamed of exploring the lighthouse, but she knew that the journey required a pure heart and a selfless wish. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of indigo, Mira saw a beautiful, golden glow emanating from the lighthouse. She felt a surge of hope and decided that it was time to uncover the truth behind the lantern. The next morning, with a small satchel of supplies and a heart full of determination, Mira set out for the lighthouse. The path was overgrown and winding, but Mira was undeterred. She knew the journey would be difficult, but she was guided by her wish to help her village. As she approached the lighthouse, Mira noticed that it was covered in vines and moss. The once grand structure seemed to have fallen into disrepair, but the golden glow from within was still visible. With a deep breath, Mira pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. The interior of the lighthouse was dusty and dimly lit, but the golden glow grew brighter as Mira ventured further. She climbed the winding staircase, her footsteps echoing in the stillness. At the top of the lighthouse, she found a room with large windows that overlooked the village. In the center of the room stood an old, ornate lantern with intricate carvings. Mira approached the lantern, and as she reached out to touch it, a soft, ethereal voice filled the room. "Welcome, Mira. I am the spirit of the Lantern of Wishes. To activate its magic, you must prove that your heart is truly selfless." A shimmering figure appeared before Mira, and it was the guardian spirit of the lantern. The spirit's eyes sparkled with a kind, knowing look. To prove your selflessness, you must answer a question: what is the greatest wish of a heart that seeks to give rather than receive? Mira thought for a moment. She remembered the struggles of her village, the fields that were barren, the children who had few toys, and the families who struggled to make ends meet. With a determined heart, she answered, The greatest wish of a heart that seeks to give is to see others happy and thriving. The spirit smiled warmly. You have answered correctly, Mira. The lantern of wishes is now yours to command. Make your wish with sincerity, and it shall come true. Mira took a deep breath and thought of her village. She wished for prosperity and joy for her fellow villagers, hoping that they would have plenty of food, good health, and happiness. She spoke her wish aloud, her voice filled with genuine hope and love. The lantern's golden glow intensified, and the room was bathed in a warm, radiant light. Mira felt a sense of peace and fulfillment as the light enveloped her. The spirit of the lantern thanked Mira and assured her that the magic would soon reach the village. When Mira returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished faces. The once barren fields were now lush and green, and the village was filled with laughter and joy. The river had overflowed with clear, fresh water, and the homes were filled with warmth and abundance. The villagers celebrated the transformation, grateful for Mira's bravery and selflessness. They admired her not for the magical lantern but for her kind heart and the genuine wish she had made. Mira continued to live in her village, cherishing the new prosperity and joy that had come to her community. The old lighthouse remained a symbol of hope and magic, a reminder that selfless wishes and pure hearts could bring about wonderful changes. And so, under the warm glow of the lantern's magic, Mira and her village thrived and lived happily ever after, their lives touched by the light of kindness and generosity. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there was a small, tranquil village called Willowbrook. Willowbrook was famous for its extraordinary willow tree, known as the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches were said to hold the secrets of the past, present, and future, and its leaves rustled with soft, mystical whispers that guided the villagers. In Willowbrook lived a kind-hearted young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her compassion and her love for animals. She spent her days helping her family and caring for the village's stray animals. Every evening, she would sit beneath the whispering willow and listen to its gentle whispers, which she believed held wisdom for those who sought it with a pure heart. One day, as Lila was tending to a wounded fox she had found in the forest, she overheard a troubling conversation among the village elders. They spoke of a dark shadow spreading across the kingdom, threatening to cover the land in eternal darkness. The only way to stop it, they said, was to find the lost star, a magical artifact that had been hidden away centuries ago. Lila felt a surge of determination. She knew that if the lost star could bring light back to the kingdom, she had to find it. With the support of her family and friends, she set off on a quest to locate the artifact. The Whispering Willow had mentioned that the lost star was hidden in a hidden realm, accessible only through the Enchanted Forest. The Enchanted Forest was known for its mystical creatures and magical barriers. As Lila ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a series of magical challenges. First, she met a mischievous sprite who challenged her with a riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Lila thought carefully and answered, a map. The sprite's eyes twinkled with approval. You may pass. Next, Lila crossed paths with a gentle giantess who blocked her way. The giantess had lost her way in the forest and was searching for a special flower that only bloomed under the moonlight. Lila agreed to help the giantess find the flower, and in return, the giantess guided her through the forest's treacherous paths. Finally, Lila reached a shimmering, moonlit glade where the entrance to the hidden realm was said to be located. She encountered a wise old owl perched on a grand oak tree. The owl spoke in a soft, melodic voice. To enter the hidden realm, you must show your heart's true intention. What do you seek most dearly? Lila replied honestly, I seek to bring light and hope to my kingdom and save it from the encroaching darkness. The owl nodded and spread its wings, revealing a glowing portal hidden within the tree. Lila stepped through the portal and found herself in a realm of dazzling light and vibrant colors. At the center of this realm was a magnificent crystal, radiating a brilliant, warm light, the lost star. As Lila approached the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was the Sorcerer of Shadows, who had been spreading the darkness across the kingdom. The sorcerer's eyes gleamed with malice as he said, "You think you can take the lost star from me? I've worked too hard to bring about eternal night." Lila stood her ground. "The lost star belongs to the people of the kingdom. Its light will bring hope and joy, not darkness." The sorcerer laughed, but his laughter was interrupted by the soft glow of the lost star, which seemed to resonate with Lila's courage and determination. The light from the crystal began to push back the shadowy figure, growing stronger with each step Lila took toward it. Realizing he could not compete with the pure light of the lost star, the sorcerer was forced to retreat into the darkness, vowing to return. Lila took the lost star and made her way back to Willowbrook, where the villagers greeted her with cheers and joy. When Lila placed the lost star at the heart of the village, its light spread across the kingdom, banishing the darkness and restoring hope to the land. The whispering willow's leaves rustled with approval, and the kingdom thrived once more. Lila's bravery and selflessness became a celebrated tale in Willowbrook, and the kingdom was forever grateful for her courage. The lost star's light continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and joy for all. And so, Lila, the whispering willow, and the people of Willowbrook lived happily ever after, surrounded by the warmth and light of their restored kingdom. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between emerald mountains and a shimmering sea, there lived a humble weaver named Leora. Leora was known throughout her village for her exquisite tapestries that seemed to capture the very essence of dreams and magic. Her creations were not just beautiful but also carried an enchantment that brought joy and peace to all who beheld them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, a mysterious stranger arrived at Leora's doorstep. The stranger was cloaked in deep blue fabric that sparkled like the night sky. His eyes, though hidden beneath the hood, twinkled with a knowing light. "I have heard of your skill, Leora," the stranger said in a voice that seemed to carry the whisper of the winds. "I seek a tapestry woven not just from threads, but from the very essence of the stars themselves." Leora was intrigued. "Stars?" she asked. "I have heard of many magical things, but weaving the essence of stars sounds like a wondrous challenge. How can I capture something so vast and elusive?" The stranger smiled, and with a flourish, he produced a small, intricately carved box from within his cloak. "This box holds a piece of the night sky," he said. "It contains stardust that has the power to reveal the hidden patterns of the cosmos. If you can weave a tapestry using this stardust, it will grant you a single wish, but only if your heart is true." Leora accepted the box with great reverence and curiosity. That night, under the light of the full moon, she carefully opened the box. Inside, the stardust glowed softly, a shimmering blend of silver and deep blue. She took a deep breath and began her work, using her finest threads and her most delicate techniques to create the tapestry. As she wove, Leora felt a profound connection to the night sky. The patterns of stars and constellations seemed to guide her hands, and the tapestry began to take shape with a beauty beyond her imagination. She worked through the night, and by dawn, her tapestry was complete. It was a magnificent creation, with swirling galaxies, sparkling stars, and celestial patterns that seemed to dance and shift as if alive. The stardust embedded in the tapestry created a subtle glow, casting a serene light throughout her workshop. The stranger returned as promised, and upon seeing the tapestry, his eyes filled with admiration. "You have done it, Leora," he said. "The tapestry is a masterpiece, a true reflection of the cosmos. It is time for you to make your wish." Leora paused, considering the possibilities. She could wish for wealth, fame, or even eternal beauty. But as she looked at her creation, she realized that the real magic lay not in the wish itself but in the joy and fulfillment she had experienced through her craft. She turned to the stranger and said, "I wish for my village to be blessed with peace, prosperity, and happiness. I want my art to bring light and joy to others, just as it has done for me." The stranger smiled, his form glowing with a soft, celestial light. "Your wish is a testament to your heart's true nature. It shall be granted." With a wave of his hand, the stranger vanished, and the tapestry began to glow even brighter. the light spread throughout the village, and soon, the village flourished like never before. The fields yielded bountiful harvests, the villagers found renewed happiness, and the air was filled with a sense of harmony and contentment. Leora's tapestries became renowned far and wide, not just for their beauty, but for the warmth and magic they radiated. People traveled from distant lands to see her work, and each tapestry seemed to carry a piece of the enchantment that had touched the village. Years later, when Leora grew old and her time in the world came to an end, the village held a grand celebration in her honor. They adorned the streets with her tapestries, and the sky seemed to sparkle even more brightly as if paying tribute to the weaver who had captured the essence of the stars. And so, the legend of Leora, the Star Weaver, lived on. Her story was told to each new generation as a reminder that true magic lies in the selflessness and kindness of the heart, and that the light of a single star can brighten the darkest of nights. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met shimmering lakes, there was a small village named Luminera. The village was nestled in a valley surrounded by towering pine trees, and its people were known for their kindness and laughter. But Luminera had a secret. Hidden deep within its heart was a magical grove where an ancient melody was said to weave its way through the trees. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. She was known for her wild curls and an ever-present sparkle in her eyes. Elara had a special gift. She could play the violin like no one else. Her music was so enchanting that even the birds would pause their singing to listen. However, despite her talent, she often felt a pang of sadness because she could not uncover the source of the mysterious melody that whispered through the grove every evening. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Elara sat by the edge of the grove, she heard the melody more clearly than ever before. It was both haunting and beautiful, weaving through the trees like a silken thread. Determined to find its source, Elara decided that tonight she would stay in the grove. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, Elara nestled beneath a great oak tree with her violin. She began to play, her notes mingling with the ethereal melody that filled the air. For a while, there was only the music, until the grove began to shimmer with a soft, golden light. From the light stepped a graceful figure with silver hair that sparkled like moonlight. She was the fairy queen of the enchanted grove, a being of such beauty that even the stars seemed to dim in her presence. "Welcome, Elara," the fairy queen said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "I've been waiting for you." Elara was both astonished and delighted. "You know my name?" The fairy queen nodded. "The grove has whispered of your talent and your quest. You wish to uncover the source of the melody?" Elara's eyes widened. "Yes, but why? Why does it matter so much to me?" The fairy queen smiled. "The melody is a gift from the heart of the grove. A reflection of its soul. It was given to us long ago to ensure that the magic of Luminera would never fade. But as time passed, the melody began to weaken, and the magic of the grove grew faint." Elara's heart ached at the thought. "What can I do to help?" The fairy queen extended her hand, and a small, glowing pendant appeared. "This is the Harmony Amulet. It holds the essence of the grove's magic. By playing the melody with this amulet, you can renew the grove's enchantment." Elara took the amulet with reverence. "How do I play it?" "Listen closely," the fairy queen said. "The amulet will guide you." With the amulet in hand, Elara took her place beneath the oak tree. She closed her eyes and began to play her violin. As she did, the amulet began to glow brighter, and the melody she played resonated with the grove's ancient tune. The trees swayed in rhythm, and the stars above seemed to twinkle in harmony. The magic of the grove began to awaken. Flowers bloomed in the moonlight, and the once dim glow of the enchanted grove became a brilliant tapestry of light and color. Elara's heart swelled with joy as she felt the magic course through her music. When the final note faded into the night, the fairy queen appeared once more. "You have done it, Elara. The magic of the grove is restored, thanks to your talent and your heart." Elara beamed. "But what will happen now?" "The melody will remain strong," the fairy queen said. "And you, Elara, will always be a part of it. Your music has become one with the grove's magic. Whenever you play, the grove will sing along with you. Elara felt a profound sense of peace. Thank you, Fairy Queen. As dawn approached, the Fairy Queen and the enchanted grove began to fade, their light merging with the morning sun. Elara returned to the village, where the people greeted her with cheers and wonder. She continued to play her violin, and every evening, as the sun set, her music would blend with the magical melody of the grove, creating a symphony that filled Luminera with joy and enchantment. And so, the village thrived, always bathed in the soft, golden light of the enchanted grove. Elara's music became a legend, and the melody that had once been a secret now danced through the hearts of everyone in Luminera. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there was a little girl named Eliza who loved to stargaze. Every night, she would sit on the hill behind her house, looking up at the twinkling stars and dreaming of adventures beyond the village. One crisp autumn evening, as Eliza was settling in for her nightly stargazing, she noticed a soft, glowing light moving through the forest. Intrigued, she decided to follow the light to see where it led. She grabbed a warm coat and a lantern for safety and ventured into the forest. The light led her to a beautiful clearing where an enormous, ancient oak tree stood. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate lantern glowing with a silvery light. Eliza approached the lantern and, as she picked it up, a voice spoke from the tree. "Greetings, Eliza. I am the spirit of the oak," the voice said. "This lantern holds the power to grant one special wish, but it must be used wisely. The magic of the lantern can bring joy and light, but it also has the ability to reveal hidden truths." Eliza was amazed but curious. "What should I wish for?" she asked the spirit of the oak. The spirit replied, "Think deeply about what truly matters to you, and your wish will reveal itself." Eliza thought about her village and her dreams of adventure. She wished to explore beyond the forest and see the wonders of the world. She made her wish with all her heart, and the lantern's light grew even brighter. In an instant, Eliza found herself standing at the edge of a magical land she had only ever dreamed of. The land was a breathtaking place filled with floating islands, shimmering rivers, and majestic creatures. A friendly dragon named Thorn flew down to greet her. Thorn was covered in iridescent scales and had wings that sparkled like diamonds. "Welcome to the land of moonlight," Thorn said. "I am the guardian of this realm. You are here because your wish has opened the gateway to our world. Let me show you the wonders that await." Thorn led Eliza on a grand tour of the magical land. They visited the Rainbow Falls, where the water cascaded in every color of the spectrum. They soared through the starry skies, where constellations danced and formed shapes that told ancient stories. They even explored the enchanted gardens, where flowers sang and trees told tales of old. During their journey, Eliza met many magical beings, talking animals, kind-hearted fairies, and wise old wizards. Each one shared their stories and knowledge with her, and Eliza learned about the balance and harmony that kept the land of moonlight in its enchanting state. However, as the night began to deepen, Eliza felt a pang of homesickness. She missed her village, her family, and her simple life. She realized that while the magical land was incredible, her heart yearned for home. She returned to the spirit of the oak with a heavy heart and spoke honestly about her feelings. The spirit listened and smiled warmly. "You have experienced the wonders of our world and learned valuable lessons. Now, it's time for you to return home with a heart full of memories and wisdom." With a wave of the spirit's hand, the lantern's light enveloped Eliza, and she was gently transported back to the clearing in the forest. The lantern had dimmed, its magic fulfilled. Eliza hugged it tightly and thanked the spirit of the oak for the extraordinary adventure. As she walked back to her village, Eliza felt a newfound appreciation for her home and the people she loved. She knew that while the world was full of wonders, the greatest joy came from the simple, everyday moments with those she cherished. Eliza's tale of the land of moonlight became a beloved story in the village. The villagers would gather around her, eager to hear about the magical adventures and the lessons she learned. and every autumn, Eliza would return to the ancient oak tree to visit the lantern, remembering the magic it had brought into her life and the wisdom it had given her. And so, Eliza lived happily ever after, carrying the light of her adventure in her heart and sharing its magic with everyone she met. In a peaceful village surrounded by ancient forests and sparkling rivers, there was a humble cottage owned by a kind old woman named Eloise. Eloise was known for her enchanting lanterns, each one imbued with a bit of magic. The most famous of all was the Lantern of Luminara, a lantern that glowed with a warm, golden light and was said to have the power to grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart. One crisp autumn morning, a young girl named Lily arrived at Eloise's cottage. Lily was known for her generous spirit and her deep love for the forest and its creatures. She had heard tales of the Lantern of Luminara and hoped it could help her solve a troubling problem. "Please, Eloise," Lily said as she approached, "I need your help. The forest animals are disappearing, and the once lush forest is withering. I fear that something terrible is happening." Eloise, who had seen many wondrous things in her lifetime, agreed to help. She handed Lily the Lantern of Luminara and instructed her, "This lantern can guide you to what you seek. Follow its light with a brave heart and a clear mind, and it will lead you to the answer you need." With the lantern in hand, Lily set out into the forest. The golden light from the lantern illuminated her path, casting a warm glow on the trees and guiding her deeper into the woods. As she walked, she noticed that the forest seemed eerily quiet. There were no chirping birds or rustling leaves. After a while, the lantern's light began to flicker and dim, and Lily found herself standing before an ancient, gnarled tree. The tree's bark was darkened, and its branches drooped as if burdened by sorrow. At the base of the tree was a small, locked door with intricate carvings of woodland creatures. Lily gently touched the door and, to her surprise, it creaked open. Inside, she discovered a hidden chamber filled with dust and cobwebs. In the center of the room stood a grand, ornate chest. The chest was locked with a heavy, rusted padlock. As Lily examined the padlock, she noticed a small inscription above it, "To unlock the heart. You must first mend what is broken." Determined, Lily searched the chamber and found a small, cracked mirror lying on a dusty shelf. She picked it up and saw that its surface was marred by a deep crack. Holding the mirror up to the lantern's light, she noticed something magical. The crack began to heal, and the mirror slowly returned to its pristine condition. With the mirror mended, the padlock on the chest clicked open. Lily opened the chest to reveal a shimmering, silver key and a note. The note read, "To restore the forest, you must return the key to its rightful place." The key seemed to hum with energy, and Lily felt a sense of urgency. Following her intuition, she left the chamber and continued through the forest, guided by the lantern's light. The forest grew darker and more forlorn, but Lily's determination never wavered. The lantern led her to a clearing where a large, stone pedestal stood. Atop the pedestal was a keyhole that seemed to fit the silver key perfectly. Lily inserted the key into the keyhole and turned it. The moment the key turned, a burst of light erupted from the pedestal, and the forest began to shimmer with new life. Flowers bloomed, trees straightened, and the air was filled with the joyous sounds of woodland creatures returning to their homes. Lily looked around in awe as the forest was restored to its former glory. The Lantern of Luminara glowed brighter than ever, and a soft, melodious voice echoed through the clearing. "You have restored the heart of the forest, Lily. Your pure heart and courage have brought back the magic." The voice belonged to a guardian spirit of the forest, who appeared as a gentle figure made of light and leaves. "The forest will forever be grateful for your bravery. As a token of our thanks, take this enchanted seed. When planted, it will grow into a tree that will always watch over the forest." Lily accepted the seed with gratitude and returned to her village. She planted the seed in a special spot in the forest, and it quickly grew into a magnificent tree with golden leaves that shimmered like the lantern's light. The villagers celebrated Lily's bravery and the restored forest with a grand festival. The forest flourished, and the Lantern of Luminara was returned to Eloise's cottage, where it would await the next pure-hearted soul ready for an adventure. And so, the forest thrived under the watchful eye of the golden tree, and Lily's tale became a cherished story passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the magic that lies within a brave and kind heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled between misty mountains and a sparkling lake, lived a kind and curious girl named Clara. Clara loved stargazing and often spent her nights on the hill behind her house, watching the stars twinkle in the vast night sky. She had a special bond with the stars, believing they held secrets and dreams. One crisp autumn evening, as Clara gazed up at the sky, she noticed something unusual. A single star seemed to shine brighter than the rest, casting a shimmering trail of light. The star appeared to be guiding her. Intrigued, Clara followed the star's path through the forest and over the hills until she reached an ancient oak tree in the heart of the forest. The tree was magnificent, its branches sprawling out like welcoming arms. At its base, Clara found a small, hidden door. The door was adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. Clara, her heart pounding with excitement, gently pushed the door open and stepped inside. She found herself in a magical glade, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the glade was a large, shimmering pool, its surface reflecting the stars above. Floating above the pool was a delicate, silver pendant with a star-shaped gem in its center. As Clara approached the pendant, a figure emerged from the shadows, a wise old woman with a cloak that shimmered like the night sky. "Welcome, Clara," the woman said with a gentle voice. "I am Celestia, the guardian of the starry pendant. You have been chosen to embark on a special quest." Clara's eyes widened in wonder. "What is this quest?" Celestia explained that the starry pendant had the power to grant a single wish, but it had been stolen from the sky by a mischievous sprite named Lumine. Without the pendant, the balance of the stars was disturbed, and their light was fading. To restore the stars' light, Celestia continued, "You must retrieve the pendant from Lumine's lair in the Twilight Caves. Only someone with a pure heart and unwavering bravery can succeed." Determined to help, Clara accepted the quest. Celestia handed her a small, silver lantern. "This lantern will light your way and reveal the path to the Twilight Caves." With the lantern in hand, Clara ventured into the forest once more. The path to the Twilight Caves was filled with challenges, narrow, winding trails, and dark, shadowy corners. But Clara's lantern glowed brightly, guiding her through the darkness. Finally, she arrived at the entrance to the Twilight Caves. The caves were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and glimmering crystals. As Clara made her way through the maze, she heard soft, tinkling laughter. At the heart of the cave, she found Lumine, a tiny sprite with sparkling wings, holding the starry pendant. "Why did you take the pendant?" Clara asked, her voice echoing through the cave. Lumine looked up, his eyes filled with mischief and regret. "I took it because I wanted to create my own constellation, but I didn't realize the harm it would cause. The stars are losing their light, and the sky is growing dim." Clara's heart softened. "It's not too late to make things right. Please return the pendant, and we can restore the stars together." Lumine looked at Clara, her kindness touching him deeply. With a sigh, he handed her the starry pendant. "You're right. I didn't think of the consequences. I'll return it." As Clara took the pendant, its light grew even brighter, and the cave began to shimmer with renewed brilliance. Clara thanked Lumine and made her way back to the glade, the pendant glowing warmly in her hand. Celestia awaited her arrival with a hopeful smile. Clara placed the pendant in the center of the glade, and its light spread across the sky like a wave of stardust. The stars began to twinkle brightly once more, restoring their luminous beauty. Celestia smiled and said, "You have succeeded, Clara. The stars are shining brightly again, thanks to your bravery and compassion. The starry pendant has fulfilled its purpose, and your wish has been granted." Clara returned to her village, her heart filled with joy. She continued to stargaze, but now with a deeper understanding of the magic and balance of the universe. The tale of her quest and the restored light of the stars became a cherished legend in her village. And every night, as Clara gazed up at the twinkling stars, she knew that she had helped bring their light back to the sky, and that magic and kindness were the true keys to the universe's wonders. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a small village named Evergreen. Evergreen was famous for its majestic oak trees, which were said to be enchanted. Among them was the Grand Oak, the oldest and largest tree in the forest. Its golden acorns were the source of its magical powers, bringing prosperity and happiness to the village. In Evergreen lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his love of nature and his curious spirit. Every day, he would wander the forest, helping animals and tending to the plants. His greatest wish was to find one of the legendary golden acorns, which were said to bring great fortune to anyone who found them. One crisp autumn morning, Finn noticed that the Grand Oak's golden acorns were missing. Without the acorns, the tree's magic was fading, and the village's prosperity was in danger. Determined to help, Finn decided to set off on a quest to find the missing acorns and restore the Grand Oak's magic. Finn packed a small satchel with essentials, a flask of water, some bread, and a compass that had been passed down through his family. With his faithful dog, Bella, by his side, Finn ventured into the heart of the forest. As he journeyed deeper, he came across a curious sight, a shimmering, enchanted pond with crystal-clear water. Floating above the pond was a small, golden fish with sparkling scales. The fish introduced itself as Glimmer, the guardian of the enchanted pond. "Hello, Finn," Glimmer said with a gentle voice. "I see you are on a quest. The golden acorns you seek were stolen by a mischievous pixie named Puck. He lives in the hollow tree, deep in the forest." Finn thanked Glimmer for the information and continued his journey. Following the directions given by Glimmer, Finn and Bella reached the hollow tree, a massive, ancient tree with a hollow trunk that seemed to glow with a soft light. Inside the hollow tree, Finn encountered Puck, a small pixie with a cheeky grin and twinkling eyes. The golden acorns were scattered around him, and he seemed to be enjoying himself, playing with the magical acorns. "What are you doing with the acorns?" Finn asked. Puck looked up, surprised. "Oh, hello. I took them because I wanted to see if their magic could bring a bit of fun to my life. But I didn't realize it would cause problems for the village." Finn spoke with kindness and understanding. "The acorns are very important to the Grand Oak and the village. If you return them, the magic will be restored, and everyone will be happy." Puck's expression softened, and he nodded. "You're right. I'm sorry for causing trouble. I just wanted to play, but I see now that I've made a mistake." Puck gathered the golden acorns and handed them back to Finn. "Thank you for your understanding," Puck said. "I promise to be more responsible with magic in the future." With the golden acorn safely in his possession, Finn and Bella returned to the Grand Oak. The acorns were placed back on the tree, and a warm, golden light spread throughout the forest. The Grand Oak's magic was restored, and the village of Evergreen flourished once more. The villagers celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness with a grand feast. They thanked Puck as well for returning the acorns, and the pixie promised to use his magic for good from then on. As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Finn sat beneath the Grand Oak, feeling content. He had not only saved the tree but also made a new friend and learned the importance of compassion and understanding. And so, the Grand Oak continued to stand tall, its golden acorns shining brightly and bringing joy to the village. Finn's story became a cherished tale in Evergreen, reminding everyone of the magic that kindness and friendship can bring. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there lived a skilled clockmaker named Mr. Thorne. His shop was filled with intricate timepieces that ticked and talked in harmony. Among these was a mysterious clock that never seemed to tick quite right. It was said to be a magical clock with a secret that could only be unlocked by someone with a pure heart. Mr. Thorne had an apprentice named Eleanor, a bright and curious young woman with a love for clockmaking. She had been working alongside Mr. Thorne for many years, learning the art of crafting timepieces and understanding the delicate mechanisms that made them work. Despite her skill, Eleanor had always been intrigued by the old clock and its mysterious nature. One crisp autumn evening, as the golden leaves danced in the breeze, Mr. Thorne fell ill. He knew that Eleanor was ready to take on more responsibility, so he entrusted her with the care of his shop and, most importantly, the secret of the old clock. "Eleanor," he said, "the time has come for you to uncover the mystery of the old clock. It has a magic that has been waiting for the right person to set it free. I believe you have the heart to do so." Eleanor accepted the challenge with determination. She studied the old clock closely, noting its ornate carvings and the delicate, intricate gears that lay hidden behind its face. The clock had no hands and no numbers, only a shimmering, star-shaped design in the center. Despite her efforts, the clock remained still, offering no clues. One night, as the full moon cast a silvery glow over the village, Eleanor decided to stay up and work on the clock. As she tinkered with it, she noticed a faint, melodic hum coming from its inner workings. The sound was soothing and rhythmic, like a lullaby. Determined to unlock the clock's secret, Eleanor followed the melody, which seemed to guide her hands as she adjusted the gears and springs. The clock's star-shaped design began to glow softly, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside the compartment was a small, ornate key with an inscription: "To find the heart of the clock, listen to its song." Eleanor realized that the clock's magic was linked to its melody. She listened closely to the hum and found that each part of the clock seemed to have its own unique note. By carefully tuning the gears to match the melody, the clock began to resonate with a harmonious sound. As Eleanor worked, the clock's star-shaped design illuminated brightly, and the room was filled with a warm, golden light. Suddenly, the clock's face began to transform, revealing a beautiful, sparkling scene of a magical kingdom where time flowed like a gentle river. From the heart of the clock emerged a tiny, golden figure, a magical timekeeper. The timekeeper spoke in a voice as soft as the wind. "Thank you for unlocking the heart of the clock. You have shown patience, skill, and a pure heart. As a reward, I shall grant you one wish." Eleanor thought of her village, which had faced many hardships due to a recent storm. She wished for prosperity and joy for her fellow villagers, hoping to bring them some relief and happiness. The timekeeper nodded and granted her wish. The magical light from the clock spread throughout the village, touching every home and field. The crops began to flourish, and the village was soon filled with abundance and joy. When Mr. Thorne recovered, he was overjoyed to see the transformation in the village. Eleanor shared her adventure with him, and he was immensely proud of her. The old clock continued to tick and talk in perfect harmony, its magic now a cherished part of the village. From that day on, Eleanor became a renowned clockmaker, known not only for her skill but also for her kindness and the magic she had unlocked. The tale of the clockmaker's apprentice and the magical clock was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of patience, skill, and a heart full of hope. And so, the village thrived, and the old clock stood as a symbol of the magic that lies within a kind and determined heart. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was always painted in hues of twilight, there was a hidden kingdom called Lunaria. Lunaria was a wondrous place, where the moon's light bathed the land in a silvery glow, and every night was filled with gentle luminescence. The kingdom was ruled by Queen Selene, a wise and kind ruler who was known for her beauty and her deep connection with the moon. In the heart of Lunaria stood the Moonlit Palace, an elegant castle made of moonstone and silver, where the queen lived with her daughter, Princess Lyra. Lyra was a curious and adventurous young girl who loved exploring the enchanted forests and shimmering lakes of Lunaria. Though she cherished her home, she longed to discover the secrets of the world beyond the kingdom's borders. One evening, as the moon hung low and full in the sky, a mysterious figure appeared in the palace garden. It was a wandering minstrel named Elian, who had come from a distant land. Elian was known for his beautiful music and tales of faraway lands. He sang a song about a magical flower that bloomed only once every 100 years, known as the Midnight Blossom. According to legend, the Midnight Blossom had the power to grant one true wish to anyone who found it. Princess Lyra was enchanted by Elian's tale and decided that she wanted to find the Midnight Blossom and make a wish for the people of Lunaria to have everlasting happiness. With her mother's blessing, she set off on a journey with Elian, who agreed to be her guide. The journey took them through the Silver Forest, a dense woodland filled with towering trees whose leaves sparkled like stars. The forest was known for its enchantments and illusions. As they ventured deeper, the path seemed to twist and turn, and strange creatures of light and shadow danced around them. Their first challenge was a labyrinth of mirrors. Each mirror showed a different reflection, making it difficult to find the true path. Elian, with his musical skills, played a melody that calmed the reflections, allowing them to find their way through the labyrinth. The enchanted lake beyond the forest lay the enchanted lake, a vast body of shimmering water. To cross the lake, they needed to use the moonlit boats that only appeared at night. As they waited for the boats, they encountered a kindly water nymph named Maris, who was guarding the lake. Maris explained that they could only cross if they solved a riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lyra thought for a moment and answered, fire. Maris smiled and granted them passage. They boarded a moonlit boat and sailed across the lake, the water glowing under the moon's soft light. The Mountain of Echoes on the other side of the lake, they reached the base of the Mountain of Echoes, a towering peak shrouded in mist. The midnight blossom was said to grow on the mountain's highest peak. The climb was steep and treacherous, and the air was thin and cold. As they climbed, they were confronted by a fierce storm of winds and ice. The storm was the work of a jealous spirit who didn't want anyone to find the midnight blossom. Elian's music had the power to soothe the storm, and with Lyra's courage, they pressed on through the tempest. The midnight blossom finally, they reached the summit, where the midnight blossom was said to bloom. The flower glowed with an ethereal light, its petals shimmering like silver. However, the flower was guarded by a wise old dragon named Draconis. Draconis tested Lyra's heart with a series of questions about her intentions. He wanted to ensure that her wish was selfless and pure. Lyra spoke from the heart, expressing her desire to bring happiness to her people and to share the joy she had found on her journey. Moved by her sincerity, Draconis allowed her to take the midnight blossom. Lyra made her wish for the eternal happiness of her people, and as she did, a radiant light spread across the land of Lunaria. The magic of the midnight blossom enhanced the moon's glow, filling the kingdom with a new, everlasting brilliance. The return to Lunaria. Lyra and Elian returned to Lunaria, greeted by the joyous celebration of the people. The kingdom's happiness was palpable, and the moonlight seemed even more magical than before. Queen Selene praised her daughter's bravery and kindness. Elian decided to stay in Lunaria, enchanted by the beauty of the kingdom and the warmth of its people. He became a beloved figure, sharing stories and psalms that kept the magic of the midnight blossom alive in the hearts of the people. And so, the tale of Princess Lyra and her quest for the midnight blossom became a cherished legend in Lunaria. The kingdom thrived under the everlasting moonlight, a symbol of the joy that comes from a selfless heart and the magic of a wish fulfilled. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom known for its magical meadows and towering crystal peaks, there was a small village named Meadowbrook. This village was blessed with beautiful seasons and harmonious creatures. The heart of Meadowbrook was its grand, ancient oak tree, called the Everlasting Oak. This tree was believed to hold the wisdom of the ages and the power to bring prosperity to the land. In Meadowbrook lived a spirited young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his boundless curiosity and a knack for helping others. He spent his days exploring the forest, assisting his neighbors, and dreaming of adventures. His favorite stories were about the everlasting oak and its legendary ability to grant one special wish to anyone with a truly selfless heart. One bright spring morning, as Leo was gathering wildflowers for his mother, he noticed something unusual near the base of the everlasting oak. A small, golden key lay half buried in the soil. Intrigued, Leo picked it up and noticed an inscription on the key: "Unlock the hidden door and find the magic within." Determined to uncover the key's secret, Leo began searching around the base of the tree. After some digging, he found a concealed door with an intricate lock that perfectly fit the golden key. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Leo turned the key and opened the door. Behind the door was a hidden chamber filled with sparkling light. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal, upon which rested an ancient, beautifully decorated chest. Leo carefully opened the chest to reveal a glowing, enchanted map. The map showed a path leading to a mystical land known as the Realm of Echoes, a place thought to be just a legend. The map had a message written in shimmering ink: to save Meadowbrook, journey to the Realm of Echoes and find the Harmony Stone. Only then can the village's true wish be granted. Without hesitation, Leo set off on the adventure described in the map. The path led him through enchanted forests, across crystal-clear rivers, and over rolling hills. Along the way, he encountered various magical creatures: a talking squirrel who shared wisdom about the forest, a gentle deer who guided him through tricky terrain, and a wise old owl who offered cryptic advice. Eventually, Leo reached the entrance to the Realm of Echoes, a breathtaking land filled with floating islands and shimmering lakes. The air was filled with a soothing melody, and the landscape seemed to shift and change with each step. In the center of the Realm of Echoes was a grand, shimmering castle made of glass and light. Leo approached the castle, where he was greeted by a graceful, ethereal being known as the Echo Guardian. The Echo Guardian explained that the Harmony Stone was hidden within the castle, but it was protected by 3 trials: of kindness, courage, and wisdom. The first trial, kindness, required Leo to help a family of lost fireflies find their way back to their glowing home. With patience and compassion, Leo guided the fireflies to their home, earning their gratitude and the first key to the next trial. The second trial, courage, involved facing a fierce, magical storm that threatened to overwhelm the castle. Leo braved the storm, showing great bravery and resilience. His courage shone brightly, and he earned the second key. The final trial, wisdom, required Leo to solve a complex riddle inscribed on a crystal tablet. The riddle was: I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? After some thought, Leo answered, a joke. The crystal tablet glowed, revealing the final key. With all 3 keys in hand, Leo entered the castle and approached a magnificent, glowing pedestal at the heart of the grand hall. On the pedestal rested the Harmony Stone, a radiant gem pulsating with vibrant colors. As Leo took the Harmony Stone, the Echo Guardian appeared and said, "You have passed the trials and proven your heart's worth. The Harmony Stone will grant your village's wish." Leo thanked the Guardian and made his way back to Meadowbrook. As he approached the village, he noticed that the once dying crops were now lush and green, and the villagers were joyous and full of life. The Harmony Stone's magic had already begun to work. When Leo placed the Harmony Stone at the base of the everlasting oak, its light spread throughout the village, rejuvenating the land and ensuring prosperity for years to come. The village celebrated Leo's bravery and selflessness, and the story of his adventure became a cherished tale. The everlasting oak's wisdom continued to guide Meadowbrook, and Leo's selfless heart remained an inspiration to all. The village thrived in harmony, and Leo grew up to be a wise leader, always remembering the lessons learned from his extraordinary journey. And so, Meadowbrook lived in peace and prosperity, thanks to the courage and kindness of a young boy who followed his heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Harmonia, music filled every corner of the land. From dawn till dusk, melodies danced through the air, and the people sang and played instruments that created the most beautiful symphonies. The source of this music was the legendary Melody Fountain, a magical spring said to be blessed by the muse of music. In a quiet village on the edge of Harmonia lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her incredible singing voice, which could make even the hardest heart soften. However, despite her talent, Lyra often felt that something was missing from her music. It was as if an essential note had been lost. One day, Lyra learned from an old storyteller that the Melody Fountain had begun to lose its magic. The songs that once flowed freely from it were now barely a whisper. The storyteller mentioned a long-forgotten song that was said to have the power to restore the fountain's magic, but the notes of the song had been lost to time. Determined to find the lost song and restore the Melody Fountain, Lyra set off on a journey through Harmonia. She began her quest by traveling to the great library of Harmonia, where the ancient scrolls and books held the secrets of the kingdom's music. The library was guarded by a wise old librarian named Alaric. To find the lost song, Alaric said, "You must first solve a riddle. I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, yet I need air. I don't have a mouth, yet I need water. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." Alaric nodded approvingly and handed her an old, dusty book. This book contains fragments of the forgotten song. To piece it together, you must visit 3 magical places in Harmonia where the notes of the song were last heard. Lyra thanked Alaric and set off on her quest. Her first destination was the Whispering Woods, a place where the trees were said to hum with a melody when the wind blew through them. As she ventured into the woods, she encountered a talking squirrel named Nutmeg, who offered to help her. "The first part of the song is hidden in the heart of the woods," Nutmeg said. "To find it, you must answer this question. What has keys but cannot open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but not go inside?" Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "A piano." Nutmeg led her to an ancient oak tree where, nestled among its roots, was a scroll with the first fragment of the song. Lyra carefully tucked it into her bag and thanked Nutmeg for the help. Next, Lyra traveled to the crystal caves, where the walls sparkled like diamonds and the echoes of footsteps created a mesmerizing harmony. She met a friendly bat named Echo who guided her through the caves. Echo told her that the second part of the song was hidden in the deepest part of the cave and would only be revealed by solving a riddle. "Listen carefully," Echo said, "and answer this. I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" Lyra thought hard and answered, "A pencil." Echo led her to a hidden chamber where the second fragment of the song was engraved on a crystal tablet. Lyra took the fragment and thanked Echo for the guidance. Her final destination was the Meadow of Echoes, a field where every sound was mirrored back with a beautiful resonance. In the meadow, she encountered a graceful deer named Harmony, who helped her find the final fragment of the song. Harmony told her that the last piece was hidden beneath the oldest tree in the meadow. To find it, Harmony said, "You must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra answered, "A joke." Harmony led her to the old tree, where she found the final scroll with the last fragment of the song. With all 3 fragments in hand, Lyra returned to the melody fountain. Standing before the fountain, Lyra began to piece together the lost song from the fragments. As she sang the notes, the melody fountain responded with a beautiful, powerful magic that flowed through Harmonia. The notes of the song filled the air, and the fountain sparkled with renewed brilliance. The kingdom of Harmonia rejoiced as the magic of the melody fountain was restored, and music once again filled every corner of the land. Lyra's quest became a cherished legend, and she was celebrated for her bravery and determination in restoring the song that brought harmony and joy to all. And so, the kingdom of Harmonia thrived, its music a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic of a lost song, and Lyra lived happily ever after, her music forever a part of the kingdom's enchanting melody. Once upon a time, in a land where magic was as common as the wind, there was a kingdom surrounded by a vast and ancient forest. This forest was known as the Forgotten Forest, for it had been abandoned by the people of the kingdom many years ago. Legends told of strange creatures and hidden treasures deep within its heart, but the villagers feared the forest, believing it to be cursed. In a small village on the edge of the kingdom lived a boy named Finn. Unlike the others, Finn had always been fascinated by the stories of the Forgotten Forest. While the villagers warned him to stay away, Finn couldn't help but feel drawn to the mysterious woods. He spent hours reading old books about the forest's history and dreaming of the adventures that might await him there. One day, as Finn was exploring the edge of the forest, he found an old, crumbling map tucked inside the hollow of a tree. The map was worn and faded, but it clearly showed a path leading deep into the forest to a place marked with a golden star. Intrigued, Finn knew this was his chance to explore the forest and uncover its secrets. Early the next morning, Finn set out on his adventure. He packed a small bag with food, water, and a lantern, and carried the map close to his heart. The villagers watched him go with a mixture of curiosity and fear, but Finn was determined. He followed the path on the map, the dense trees of the forgotten forest closing in around him as he walked. The forest was quiet, almost eerily so, and the air was thick with the scent of moss and earth. As Finn ventured deeper, he began to notice things that seemed out of place, flowers that glowed softly in the shadows, trees that twisted into strange shapes, and streams that bubbled with a golden hue. But Finn wasn't afraid. He felt a sense of wonder and excitement, as if the forest was welcoming him. After hours of walking, Finn came upon a clearing where a large, ancient oak tree stood. Its bark was covered in runes, and its roots stretched deep into the ground like the fingers of a giant. In front of the tree was a stone pedestal, and on the pedestal sat a small, ornate box made of silver and gold. Finn knew this must be the treasure the map had led him to. As Finn reached out to touch the box, a soft voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares to enter the heart of the forgotten forest?" Startled, Finn looked around, but saw no one. "I am Finn," he called out, "a boy from the village. I mean no harm. I've come to explore the forest and discover its secrets." The air shimmered, and suddenly, standing before him was a figure made of light, a beautiful, ethereal being with flowing hair and eyes that sparkled like the stars. Finn realized that this was a forest spirit, one of the ancient guardians of the forgotten forest. "You have a brave heart, young Finn," the spirit said, her voice as soft as a breeze. "This forest has been forgotten by the people of your kingdom, but it is still full of life and magic. The box you see before you is not just any treasure, it is the heart of the forest. It holds the magic that sustains this land." But long ago, the villagers feared this power and abandoned the forest, leaving it to wither and fade. Finn listened intently, his curiosity growing. Why did they fear it? And what will happen if the heart of the forest is not protected? The villagers did not understand the magic, the spirit explained. They thought it dangerous, and so they turned their backs on it. Without the care of those who live near it, the magic has weakened, and the forest has begun to fade. If the heart is not protected and nurtured, the forest will disappear entirely, and with it, the magic that once brought life to this kingdom. Finn felt a pang of sadness. He couldn't imagine a world without the wonders of the forest. "Is there anything I can do to help?" he asked, determined to save the forest. The spirit smiled, her light growing warmer. "You have already taken the first step by entering the forest without fear. To restore the heart of the forest, you must return to your village and convince the people to embrace the magic once more. The heart cannot survive on its own, it needs the love and care of those who live nearby. Only then will the forest thrive again." Finn nodded, understanding the importance of the task before him. He carefully took the box from the pedestal, feeling its warmth in his hands. "I will do everything I can to protect the heart and restore the forest," he promised. With the box in his hands, Finn made his way back through the forest. As he walked, the trees seemed to part before him, guiding him safely back to the village. When he emerged from the woods, the villagers were waiting, their faces filled with surprise and awe. Finn held up the box for all to see. "This is the heart of the forest," he announced. "It holds the magic that once made our land flourish. We must no longer fear the forest, but embrace it and care for it. Only then can we save our home and ensure that the magic of the forest lives on." The villagers listened to Finn's words, and one by one, they began to understand. They had forgotten the importance of the forest, but now, seeing the heart of the forest in Finn's hands, they knew they could no longer turn their backs on it. Led by Finn, the villagers returned to the forest, bringing with them tools to tend to the trees, seeds to plant new life, and their renewed belief in the magic that had once been their pride. As they worked together, the forest began to change. The trees grew taller and stronger, the flowers bloomed brighter, and the streams flowed with fresh, clear water. And at the heart of it all, the ancient oak tree stood tall, its roots entwined with the magic of the land, protected by the love and care of the people. In time, the forgotten forest became known as the Enchanted Forest, a place where magic and nature thrived in harmony. The villagers no longer feared the forest, but cherished it as a source of life and wonder. As for Finn, he grew into a wise and respected leader, always reminding the people of the importance of their bond with the forest. The heart of the forest remained safe, and with it, the magic of the kingdom continued to flourish for generations to come. And so, the enchanted forest lived on, a symbol of the power of understanding, courage, and the deep connection between people and nature. The end. The Enchanted Orchard. Once upon a time, in a quaint kingdom nestled between emerald hills and sparkling rivers, there was a mystical orchard known as the Enchanted Orchard. This orchard was renowned for its magical fruits, which were said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. However, the orchard was hidden deep within an ancient forest and could only be found by those who truly needed its magic. In a small, humble village at the edge of the forest lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and selflessness. She spent her days helping her family and neighbors, tending to the village's gardens, and caring for the sick. Despite her generosity, Lila and her village were suffering from a terrible blight that had ruined their crops and left them in dire need of food. One day, as Lila was tending the village garden, she overheard a group of travelers talking about the Enchanted Orchard. They spoke of its magical fruits and the wonders it could bring. Determined to help her village, Lila decided she would venture into the forest to find the orchard and use its magic to save her home. The journey begins early the next morning. Lila packed a small satchel with bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. She set off into the ancient forest, guided only by the whispers of the wind and the stories she had heard. The forest was dense and mysterious, with towering trees and winding paths. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, Lila encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled tree branch. The owl looked at her with piercing eyes and said, "To find the Enchanted Orchard, you must first solve my riddle. I have branches but no fruit, no trunk but plenty of leaves. What am I?" Lila pondered for a moment and then answered, "A book." The owl hooted in approval and flapped its wings, revealing a hidden path illuminated by a soft, silver glow. Lila followed the path, her heart filled with hope. The mysterious glade. The path led Lila to a serene glade where the trees were adorned with glowing fireflies. In the center of the glade was a gently bubbling spring, and beside it stood a graceful deer. The deer spoke softly. "To continue, you must solve this riddle. What has cities, but no houses, mountains, but no trees, and water, but no fish?" Lila thought carefully and then answered, "A map." The deer nodded and stepped aside, revealing a shimmering bridge that spanned across the spring. Lila crossed the bridge and continued her journey. The Enchanted Orchard. The bridge led Lila to a hidden grove bathed in golden light. In the center of the grove stood the Enchanted Orchard, its trees laden with glowing fruits of every color imaginable. The air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance. Lila approached the orchard and saw a large, ancient tree in the middle, with a single, magnificent fruit hanging from its branches. The tree spoke in a deep, melodic voice, "To receive the magic of the Enchanted Orchard, you must make a wish with a heart full of love and selflessness. What you wish for should benefit others." Lila took a deep breath and made her wish. "I wish for my village to be blessed with abundant crops and to have enough food for everyone, so that no one has to go hungry." As she spoke, the magnificent fruit began to glow even brighter, and a gentle breeze carried its magic back to Lila's village. The light spread across the forest, flowing into the fields and gardens of her home. The return to the village. When Lila returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished joy. The once barren fields were now lush and green, the crops were thriving, and there was plenty of food for everyone. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the people were filled with gratitude for Lila's bravery and kindness. The magic of the Enchanted Orchard had transformed the village, bringing prosperity and happiness to all. Lila was honored as a hero, and her story became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lies within a kind heart. And so, Lila's village continued to thrive, forever blessed by the magic of the Enchanted Orchard and the loving heart of one extraordinary young girl. In the heart of a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there was a small, charming shop known as the Clockwork Cottage. This shop, with its wooden sign and intricately carved door, belonged to an elderly clockmaker named Mr. Thorne. His clocks were renowned for their beauty and precision, but what truly set them apart was the enchanting magic that seemed to linger within their gears and springs. Mr. Thorne was a kind man with twinkling eyes and a gentle smile. Though he was known for his skill, he was also known for his mysterious habit of working late into the night, never allowing anyone to see his latest creations. The village folk often whispered that his clocks were not just timekeepers but held secrets of their own. One crisp autumn evening, a young girl named Lila, curious and adventurous, decided to visit the Clockwork Cottage. Lila was known for her inquisitive nature and had always been fascinated by Mr. Thorne's clocks. She had heard tales of their magic and wanted to uncover the truth. As she approached the shop, she noticed a soft, golden light emanating from within. The door creaked open as she touched the handle, and she stepped into the cozy interior, where the air was filled with the soothing tick-tock of countless clocks. The walls were lined with timepieces of all shapes and sizes, their faces adorned with delicate engravings. Mr. Thorne looked up from his workbench, where he was meticulously assembling a new clock. "Ah, Lila," he said with a warm smile. "What brings you to my shop this evening?" "I've always been curious about your clocks," Lila admitted. "I've heard they're magical." "Is it true?" Mr. Thorne chuckled softly. "Magic, you say? Perhaps there is a bit of truth in that. But magic, like time, is a delicate thing. It requires care and understanding." Intrigued, Lila asked, "Can you show me one of your magical creations?" Mr. Thorne's eyes sparkled with mischief. "Very well. But first, you must solve a small puzzle. If you do, I will show you something truly wondrous." He handed Lila an ornate pocket watch with intricate designs etched into its surface. "This is no ordinary watch. It holds a secret, but to unlock it, you must answer a riddle." Lila accepted the challenge eagerly. Mr. Thorne's riddle was, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Lila pondered the riddle, her brow furrowing in concentration. After a few moments, she smiled and answered, "A cloud." Mr. Thorne's eyes widened with approval. "You are correct. Now, let me show you the magic within." He opened the pocket watch, revealing a tiny, hidden compartment. Inside was a miniature, beautifully detailed scene of a moonlit meadow with dancing fireflies. The scene seemed to come alive with a gentle, enchanting glow. "This is the enchanted clock," Mr. Thorne explained. "It can grant a single wish to those who truly understand the value of time and magic. But be cautious, wishes made with this clock must be for the greater good." Lila gazed in awe at the miniature world within the watch. She thought carefully about her wish. Her heart was full of dreams, but she wanted to make sure her wish would help others as well. After a moment's thought, Lila said, "I wish for the village to always have a place of warmth and joy, where people can gather and share their stories." Mr. Thorne nodded approvingly and carefully closed the pocket watch. A selfless wish, indeed. He then placed the watch on a shelf and took out an old, ornate key. "Come with me," he said, leading Lila to a hidden door at the back of the shop. The key unlocked the door, revealing a secret room filled with clocks of every shape and size, each more beautiful and intricate than the last. In the center of the room was a grand clock with a golden face and celestial designs. "This is the heart of time," Mr. Thorne said. "It holds the magic of all the clocks I have ever created. Your wish will be fulfilled through its enchantment." As Lila watched, Mr. Thorne gently placed the enchanted clock on the grand clock's pedestal. The entire room filled with a soft, golden light, and the magic of the clocks began to weave together. The next morning, the village awoke to find a new addition to their community, a beautiful, cozy pavilion in the village square, adorned with twinkling lights and colorful banners. The pavilion became a beloved gathering place, where people could come together to share stories, celebrate, and find comfort. The village flourished under the influence of the pavilion's magic, and its warmth and joy became a cherished part of their lives. Lila's wish had brought a lasting gift to the community, and the clockwork cottage continued to be a place of wonder and enchantment. And so, the legend of the enchanted clock lived on, reminding everyone that true magic is found not in the wishes we make for ourselves but in the joy and love we bring to others. Once upon a time, in a land where the moon was always full and cast a silver glow upon the world, there was a hidden kingdom known as Lunaria. Lunaria was a magical place where everything sparkled under the moonlight, and its people were blessed with eternal joy and prosperity. At the heart of Lunaria was a grand castle, and within its deepest chamber lay a mysterious door adorned with intricate moon-shaped carvings. This door had remained closed for centuries, for it was said that only the moonlit key could unlock it. The moonlit key was a legendary artifact said to possess the power to grant a single, profound wish to the kingdom. However, it had been lost many generations ago, and the door remained unopened, its secrets hidden from all. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra, who lived in a small village near Lunaria, overheard a tale about the moonlit key and the mysterious door. Determined to help her village, which had recently fallen on hard times, she decided to embark on a quest to find the moonlit key and unlock the secrets of the ancient door. The first challenge, the Forest of Whispers. Lyra's journey began in the Forest of Whispers, a magical woodland where the trees were said to whisper ancient secrets and tales. As she wandered through the forest, she encountered a wise old tree with bark that shimmered like silver. To pass through the Forest of Whispers, the tree said in a gentle, rustling voice, "You must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, mountains but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A map." The wise old tree's bark glowed warmly, and it parted to reveal a hidden path. "Follow this path to reach the next challenge," the tree instructed. The second challenge, the River of Reflections. Lyra followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Reflections, a serene river with water so clear it mirrored the sky and the surrounding trees perfectly. The river was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like moonlight. To cross the River of Reflections, the swan said softly, "You must answer this question. What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can play it but not touch it?" Lyra pondered the question and replied, "A piano." The swan's feathers glowed with approval, and it created a shimmering bridge of light across the river. Lyra crossed the river with a sense of accomplishment and hope. The third challenge, the Cavern of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Lyra discovered the Cavern of Echoes, a grand cave filled with sparkling crystals that cast mesmerizing patterns of light. At the entrance of the cavern stood a grand, ancient door covered in celestial symbols. A soothing voice echoed from within the cavern, "To unlock this door and find the moonlit key, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Lyra took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, "My deepest wish is to find the moonlit key and use its power to help my village, so that they can prosper and find joy again." The cavern's walls shimmered with a soft, silvery light, and the grand door slowly creaked open to reveal the moonlit key resting on a pedestal, glowing with a soft, magical light. The revelation, restoring the kingdom. With the moonlit key in hand, Lyra returned to Lunaria. She approached the mysterious door in the castle's deepest chamber and carefully inserted the key. As the door swung open, a brilliant light filled the room, revealing a magnificent treasure trove of ancient knowledge, magical artifacts, and wondrous gifts. The light from the open door spread throughout Lunaria, restoring its former glory and bringing prosperity and happiness to the land. The people of Lunaria rejoiced, their joy and gratitude filling the air. Lyra's village also benefited from the moonlit key's magic, with the land flourishing and the villagers finding renewed hope and joy. The tale of Lyra's quest became a cherished story, a symbol of bravery and the power of a pure heart. Under the radiant light of the moonlit key, Lunaria and Lyra's village thrived, forever grateful for the courageous girl who had unlocked the door to their dreams and restored their happiness. In a charming kingdom where rolling hills met endless forests, there was a secluded place known as the Starlit Meadow. By day, it was a serene field of wildflowers, but by night, it transformed into a shimmering expanse under the glow of countless stars. The meadow was a source of wonder, for it was said that on rare occasions, the stars would descend and grant a wish to those who were pure of heart. In this kingdom lived a young girl named Lyra, who was known for her kindness and adventurous spirit. Lyra had always been fascinated by the tales of the starlit meadow. Each evening, she would gaze up at the night sky, dreaming of one day visiting the magical meadow and making a wish. One summer evening, as the full moon bathed the land in silver light, Lyra decided to venture to the starlit meadow. She packed a small satchel with essentials, a lantern, some bread, and a book of poems, and set off through the forest, guided by the gentle glow of fireflies. The path to the meadow was not well marked, and the forest grew darker as she journeyed deeper. Lyra felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. After a long trek, she finally reached the edge of the meadow. As she stepped into the open field, she marveled at the sight before her. The meadow was indeed aglow with thousands of twinkling lights, like a sea of stars had descended to the earth. Lyra found a comfortable spot under an old oak tree in the center of the meadow. She sat quietly, waiting for the stars to appear. As she did, she noticed a soft, melodious hum in the air. The sound was gentle and soothing, like a lullaby carried by the breeze. Suddenly, the stars began to shimmer more brightly, and a figure emerged from the celestial glow, a graceful fairy with wings that sparkled like stardust. Her name was Seraphina, and she had a warm, welcoming smile. "Welcome to the starlit meadow," Seraphina said in a voice like tinkling bells. "I am Seraphina, the guardian of this magical place. The stars are here tonight because someone with a pure heart is present." Lyra's eyes widened in awe. "Is it true that I can make a wish?" Seraphina nodded. "Yes, but remember, the stars grant wishes not for personal gain, but for the greater good. Your wish must come from a place of selflessness." Lyra thought carefully. Her heart was full of dreams, but she knew that her wish should benefit others. After a moment's reflection, she spoke. "I wish for the starlit meadow's magic to spread throughout the kingdom," Lyra said. "I want everyone to experience the wonder and joy that I feel here." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval. "Your wish is a noble one. It shall be granted." With a wave of her hand, Seraphina scattered stardust across the meadow. The stardust glowed warmly, drifting gently through the air. As it touched the flowers and trees, they began to sparkle with the same magical light that filled the meadow. The next morning, when Lyra returned to the village, she was greeted with a remarkable sight. The enchantment of the starlit meadow had indeed spread throughout the kingdom. Flowers in the village square sparkled like stars, and the trees in the forest glowed with a soft, magical light. The people marveled at the transformation, their hearts filled with wonder and joy. Lyra's selfless wish had brought a touch of magic to everyone's lives. The village celebrated with a grand festival, where they shared stories, music, and laughter under the starry sky. The enchantment continued to spread, touching every corner of the kingdom and inspiring people to share their own kindness and dreams. From that day on, the kingdom thrived under the influence of the starlit meadow's magic. The stars seemed brighter, the flowers more vibrant, and the people's spirits uplifted. Lyra's wish had not only fulfilled her dream but had also created a lasting legacy of joy and wonder for all. And so, the tale of the starlit meadow and the selfless wish became a cherished story, reminding everyone that true magic lies not only in wishing upon stars but in the kindness and selflessness we offer to others. In a land of lush valleys and sparkling rivers, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lay the enchanting Moonstone Kingdom. This kingdom was unique, not only because of its natural beauty but also because of the mystical moonstone, a gem said to hold the power of the moon and stars. The moonstone was housed in a grand palace, where the kind-hearted Queen Seraphina ruled with wisdom and grace. The moonstone's magic kept the kingdom bathed in a gentle, silver light every night, and it was believed to bring peace and prosperity to the land. One day, as the kingdom prepared for the annual moon festival, a celebration of the moonstone's magic, a dark cloud appeared on the horizon. The cloud, shrouded in shadows, seemed to creep closer to the kingdom with every passing moment. The villagers were worried, and the once bright moonlight began to dim. Queen Seraphina, concerned for her kingdom, summoned her most trusted advisor, Sir Cedric, a brave knight known for his valor and loyalty. "Sir Cedric," the queen said, "the moonstone's light is fading, and this ominous cloud threatens our land. I fear the moonstone's magic may be in danger. We must find out what is causing this darkness." Sir Cedric nodded, determined to protect the kingdom. "I will seek out the source of this dark cloud and restore the moonstone's light. I will need a guide, someone who knows the hidden paths of the forest." The queen agreed and introduced Cedric to Alara, a young and clever village girl who had a deep connection with the forest and its secrets. Alara was both excited and honored to help. The two set off on their quest, leaving the Moonstone Palace behind. They ventured into the forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the paths twisted and turned in unexpected ways. As they journeyed deeper, they encountered various magical creatures who spoke of a dark sorcerer named Malakar, who sought to steal the Moonstone's magic for his own sinister purposes. The first clue they discovered was a series of shimmering silver footprints leading them to a hidden grove. In the center of the grove stood an ancient stone archway covered in ivy. As Cedric and Alara approached, the archway began to glow with a soft, moonlit light. "This must be a clue," Alara said, examining the archway. "It seems to be pointing us towards the heart of the forest." Following the archway's guidance, Cedric and Alara continued their journey until they reached a serene, moonlit lake. At the edge of the lake was a small boat, and beside it was an old parchment with a riddle: "On the waters where moonlight gleams, find the path that leads to dreams. Where shadows fall and silence reigns, the answer lies where magic wanes." They carefully boarded the boat and rowed across the moonlit lake. As they reached the far side, they discovered a hidden cave entrance covered in dark vines. Inside the cave, they found a magical lantern that seemed to pulse with a faint, silver light. Alara took the lantern and noticed a hidden compartment containing another parchment. This one read, "Seek the tower where night and day meet, and confront the darkness you will defeat." Cedric and Alara ventured further until they found an ancient, abandoned tower on the edge of the forest. The tower was shrouded in darkness and seemed to be the source of the ominous cloud. They climbed the spiraling staircase and reached the top, where they saw Malakar standing before the moonstone, preparing to cast a dark spell. Malakar, clad in a cloak of shadows, looked surprised but menacing. "You dare to challenge me?" he sneered. "The moonstone's power will be mine." Cedric stepped forward, brandishing his sword. "Not if we have anything to say about it." Alara, holding the magical lantern, stepped to the front. The lantern's light began to shine more brightly, and she spoke with confidence. "The moonstone's magic belongs to the kingdom and its people. We won't let you steal it." Malakar unleashed a wave of dark magic towards them, but the lantern's light created a barrier that protected Cedric and Alara. They realized that the lantern's light was strong enough to counteract Malakar's dark spell. As Malakar continued to attack, Cedric and Alara combined their efforts. Cedric's bravery and Alara's quick thinking proved to be a powerful combination. With one final, brilliant burst of light from the lantern, Malakar was overwhelmed and his dark magic was dispelled. He was cast out of the tower and vanished into the shadows. With the sorcerer defeated, the moonstone's light began to shine brightly once more. The dark cloud dissipated, and the kingdom was bathed in its gentle, silver glow. Cedric and Alara returned to the Moonstone Palace as heroes. Queen Seraphina greeted them with immense gratitude. "You have saved the Moonstone and our kingdom. Your bravery and unity have restored the light and peace to our land." The Moon Festival that followed was a grand celebration of the restored magic. The villagers rejoiced, and Cedric and Alara were honored for their heroism. The Moonstone continued to shine brightly, a symbol of the courage and light that resided within every heart. And so, the tale of Cedric and Alara became a beloved legend in the Moonstone Kingdom, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, light and bravery could prevail. In a quaint village nestled between misty mountains and lush meadows, there was a small shop known for its magical curiosities. The shop was owned by an elderly woman named Madame Zara, who was famous for her enchanting lanterns. Each lantern had a unique magic, but the most mysterious was the enchanted lantern, said to grant one wish to anyone with a heart full of courage and kindness. One crisp autumn evening, a young boy named Finn entered the shop. Finn was known throughout the village for his adventurous spirit and his kind heart. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and hoped it might help him find his missing sister, Lily, who had disappeared into the dark woods. "Madame Zara," Finn said, "I need the enchanted lantern to find my sister. The dark woods are filled with dangers, and I must bring her back safely." Madame Zara, who had seen many brave souls come and go, looked at Finn with a knowing smile. The enchanted lantern is a powerful tool, but it requires a pure heart and a brave spirit. Are you prepared for the challenges ahead? Finn nodded with determination. Madame Zara handed him the enchanted lantern, its light flickering softly as if acknowledging Finn's resolve. "Take this lantern and follow its light into the dark woods. It will guide you through the dangers and help you find your sister." With the lantern in hand, Finn ventured into the dark woods. The forest was dense and shadowy, with twisted trees and eerie sounds. The lantern's light cut through the darkness, casting a warm, reassuring glow. As Finn walked, he encountered various challenges. First, he came across a wide, rushing river with no bridge in sight. The lantern's light revealed stepping stones just beneath the water's surface. Finn carefully crossed the stones, reaching the other side safely. Next, he faced a steep, rocky hill with a menacing fog swirling around it. The lantern's glow revealed a hidden path along the side of the hill. Finn followed the path, climbing steadily until he reached the top. As night fell, the forest grew colder and the shadows lengthened. Finn began to feel anxious, but he kept the lantern close, its light steady and comforting. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice reached his ears. It was coming from a small, hidden grove. In the grove, Finn discovered a beautiful fairy with delicate wings and a shimmering gown. She was sitting on a bed of moss, looking sad. "I'm lost," the fairy said, "and I can't find my way back to the fairy kingdom." Finn, despite his own quest, felt a surge of compassion. "I'll help you find your way," he said. "In return, could you help me find my sister?" The fairy's eyes brightened with gratitude. "Thank you, brave boy. I will guide you to your sister, but first, we must find the heart of the dark woods where the enchantment is strongest." Together, Finn and the fairy followed the lantern's light deeper into the forest. The fairy used her magic to clear the path of obstacles and illuminate hidden dangers. After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood. Its branches were adorned with glowing orbs. At the base of the tree, lying in a bed of soft leaves, was Lily. She was asleep, surrounded by a gentle, magical aura. Finn rushed to her side, and the fairy gently woke Lily with a soft touch. Lily stirred and smiled when she saw Finn. "You found me," she exclaimed, hugging her brother tightly. The fairy, seeing that Finn's wish had been fulfilled, began to fade. "Thank you for your kindness, Finn. You have restored the balance of the forest and shown true bravery. The enchanted lantern's magic is now complete." Finn and Lily returned to the village, where they were greeted with joy and relief. The villagers celebrated their safe return, and the story of Finn's bravery and the enchanted lantern spread far and wide. Madame Zara, pleased with the outcome, told Finn, "Your courage and kindness have brought light to the darkest of places. Remember, the true magic lies in the heart that dares to wish and the spirit that strives to make it come true." And so, the tale of Finn, Lily, and the enchanted lantern became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, a brave heart and a touch of magic can guide us home. The end. Once upon a time, in the peaceful kingdom of Leora, there was a magical forest known as the Enchanted Grove. This forest was famous for its ancient trees that sparkled with silver leaves and the legendary Silver Star, a magical star that granted one wish to those who found it with a heart full of hope and courage. The Silver Star was hidden deep within the forest and could only be revealed on the night of the silver moon, when the moonlight turned the world into a shimmering wonderland. In a charming village at the edge of the forest lived a kind-hearted and adventurous girl named Arya. Arya was known for her bravery and her love of nature. Her best friend was a playful and clever fox named Finn, who had a knack for finding hidden paths and solving puzzles. One evening, as the night of the silver moon approached, Arya and Finn discovered an old, beautifully decorated compass buried under a bed of moss in their garden. The compass had intricate silver engravings and a note that read, "The Enchanted Grove awaits. Follow the compass on the night of the silver moon to find the silver star." Excited by the prospect of finding the silver star and making a wish, Arya and Finn set out on their journey. The path to the enchanted grove was illuminated by the soft, silver light of the moon and the gentle glow of fireflies. As they entered the forest, they were greeted by the enchanting beauty of the moonlit trees and the soothing sounds of the night. However, the path to the silver star was guarded by 3 magical challenges. The first challenge was the crystal clearing. This was a magical clearing filled with shimmering crystals that reflected the moonlight in dazzling patterns. To pass through, they needed to arrange the crystals in a specific pattern that would reveal the correct path. Finn used his sharp eyes to study the patterns of the crystals, while Arya carefully followed his directions. They arranged the crystals according to the patterns and a hidden pathway was revealed, leading them deeper into the forest. The second challenge was the River of Dreams. This river flowed with sparkling, silver water and was lined with glowing lilies. To cross the river, they needed to solve a riddle spoken by the river's guardian, a graceful, shimmering water spirit. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Arya thought for a moment and then answered, "A joke." The water spirit's smile illuminated the river, and a bridge of glowing lilies appeared, allowing them to cross safely. The final challenge was the Maze of Moonlight. In this maze, the walls were lined with silver vines that seemed to shift and change direction. To find their way out, they needed to follow the moonlight that shone through gaps in the vines. With Finn's keen sense of direction and Arya's careful observation, they navigated through the maze and emerged into a serene glade where the silver star awaited. At the center of the glade, bathed in the magical light of the silver moon, floated the silver star, its light shimmering softly. To make their wish, Arya needed to speak her wish aloud with sincerity. Arya approached the silver star and spoke from her heart, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of everyone in Leora. I want to see our village and our land thrive with joy and peace." As Arya's wish was spoken, the silver star's light expanded, and a soft, magical glow spread throughout the enchanted grove and beyond. The moonlight seemed to shine even brighter, and the magic of the silver star touched every corner of Leora, bringing joy and prosperity to all. When Arya and Finn returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and joyful, and the people were filled with a deep sense of contentment and harmony. The story of Arya and Finn's adventure in the magic of the silver star became a cherished tale in Leora, reminding everyone of the power of hope, courage, and the magic that lies within their hearts. And so, the enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and enchantment, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the silver moon. The end.
In the heart of the bustling kingdom of Oldoria, there lay a garden known for its breathtaking roses. Among these roses was one extraordinary bloom, the enchanted rose. It was said that this rose could grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart who found it. Princess Isabella, a kind-hearted and brave young woman, had heard tales of the enchanted rose from her grandmother. As the kingdom faced a time of great trouble, a terrible drought that had withered their lands, Isabella decided she would find the rose and make a wish to save her kingdom. One moonlit evening, when the stars twinkled brightly in the sky, Isabella set out on her quest. She carried a satchel with essentials, a map of the kingdom, a lantern, and a small book of fairy tales her grandmother had gifted her. Isabella's journey led her to the Whispering Woods, a mysterious forest known for its talking animals and magical creatures. The path was overgrown and shadowy, but the light of the full moon guided her way. As she walked, Isabella met a wise old fox named Fennec, who spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "Greetings, Princess," Fennec said. "The enchanted rose is hidden deep within the forest, but reaching it will not be easy. You must seek the guidance of the woodland spirits. Fenwick directed Isabella to a large oak tree with a hollow at its base. Inside, she found a small, glowing sprite named Leela, who fluttered her delicate wings. "Hello, Princess Isabella," Leela said. "To find the enchanted rose, you must pass 3 trials set by the forest spirits. These trials will test your heart and courage." Leela led Isabella to a clearing where a fierce storm had been conjured. The wind howled, and lightning flashed across the sky. In the center of the clearing was a magical artifact, the storm amulet, which Isabella needed to retrieve. Despite the fierce storm, Isabella pressed on. She shielded her eyes from the lightning and braved the winds. With determination, she reached the amulet and clutched it tightly. The storm subsided, and the clearing was calm once more. The second trial took Isabella to a tranquil pond surrounded by enchanted lily. On the pond's surface floated a riddle written on shimmering leaves. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Isabella pondered the riddle, drawing on the wisdom she had gained from her grandmother's fairy tales. After a moment, she answered, "An echo." The lily glowed brightly, and a path to the next trial appeared. The final trial led Isabella to a glen where a family of magical creatures, a deer, a fox, and a rabbit, were in distress. They were lost and frightened, needing help to find their way home. Isabella approached the creatures with kindness and empathy. She spoke soothingly, helped them navigate the forest, and guided them safely to their homes. The creatures thanked her with warm smiles, and the path to the enchanted rose was revealed. Isabella followed the path to a hidden garden bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a majestic rose, its petals glowing with a soft, ethereal light. The enchanted rose was more beautiful than she had imagined, radiating a magical aura. As Isabella approached, a gentle voice spoke from the rose itself. "Princess Isabella, you have proven your heart through courage, wisdom, and compassion. You may now make your wish." With a deep breath, Isabella wished for her kingdom to be restored, for the drought to end, and for the lands to be lush and green once more. The rose's light intensified, and a warm breeze swept through the garden. When Isabella returned to Eldoria, she found that her wish had come true. The drought had ended, and the kingdom's lands were now vibrant and flourishing. Rivers flowed with crystal-clear water, and fields were filled with blooming flowers and ripe crops. The people of Eldoria celebrated their princess's bravery and kindness. The kingdom thrived, and Isabella was hailed as a hero. The enchanted rose was placed in the royal garden, where it continued to bloom as a symbol of hope and the magic of true-hearted wishes. Years later, Princess Isabella's story became a beloved legend in Eldoria. The tale of her quest for the enchanted rose was told and retold, inspiring others to seek out their own courage, wisdom, and compassion. The enchanted rose remained a cherished part of the kingdom's history. Its magical glow served as a reminder that the power to change the world lies not in magic alone, but in the virtues of those who dare to believe in their dreams.
In a land where the golden sun kissed the rolling hills and the emerald forests, there was a small village named Everwood. The village was known for its tranquil beauty and the magical grove that lay just beyond its borders. The grove was said to be enchanted, filled with ancient trees that whispered secrets of the past, and a hidden glen where a mysterious melody could be heard on the wind. Every year, the villagers celebrated the Festival of Lights, a joyous event that honored the grove and its magic. However, one year, as the festival approached, an unsettling silence fell over Everwood. The grove's melody had vanished, and with it, the villagers' joy seemed to dim. Among the villagers was a young girl named Alara. Curious and brave, Alara had always been fascinated by the grove's legend. With her heart set on restoring the grove's magic, she decided to venture into the grove to uncover the source of the silence. One misty morning, Alara set out with a small satchel, a lantern, and a locket her grandmother had given her. The locket was rumored to hold a secret, but its purpose had long been forgotten. She walked through the village, past the cobblestone paths, and reached the edge of the enchanted grove. The grove's entrance was marked by 2 ancient oak trees whose branches intertwined like a protective embrace. As Elara stepped into the grove, the air seemed to shimmer with a faint glow. The trees, usually so full of life, now stood still as statues, their leaves motionless. Elara followed a winding path deeper into the grove. She could feel the weight of the silence pressing upon her. After some time, she reached the hidden glen where the melody was once heard. There, in the center of the glen, was an old stone fountain covered in moss. At its base was an inscription in an ancient language. Elara took out her grandmother's locket and noticed that it had a tiny keyhole. To her surprise, the inscription on the fountain matched the locket's design. With trembling hands, she inserted the locket into the keyhole. There was a soft click, and the fountain began to glow with a warm, golden light. Suddenly, the grove came to life. The trees' branches swayed, and the leaves rustled with a soft, melodic tune. The air filled with the beautiful music that had been missing for so long. Elara looked around in awe as the grove's enchantment was restored. As the melody reached its crescendo, a figure emerged from the light. It was a spirit of the grove, an ethereal being with wings of shimmering leaves. The spirit smiled at Elara, who felt a surge of warmth and relief. "You have restored the magic of the grove," the spirit said with a voice like a gentle breeze. "Long ago, the song was hidden away to protect it from those who would misuse it. But your pure heart and bravery have brought it back." Elara, humbled and grateful, asked, "Why was the song hidden?" The spirit explained, "The song holds the essence of the grove's magic, a power that can bring harmony and joy. But when darkness threatened the land, it was hidden to keep it safe. It was only through someone with a true spirit of kindness that the song could be awakened." With a soft gesture, the spirit gifted Elara a small vial of the golden light. "This is a piece of the grove's magic. Use it wisely, and remember that the true power of magic lies in the heart." Elara thanked the spirit and made her way back to the village, where the festival preparations were in full swing. She carried the vial with care, knowing that its magic was a reminder of the grove's return. The Festival of Lights that year was the most spectacular Everwood had ever seen. The grove's melody filled the air, and the villagers danced with joy, their hearts uplifted by the enchanted music. Elara's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and the grove's magic became a cherished part of their lives once more. And so, the enchanted grove continued to thrive, its melody a symbol of hope and harmony. Elara's story was told for generations, reminding everyone that even in times of silence, the magic of the heart could restore the world's wonder. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Alderwood, there was a legend about an enchanted garden hidden deep within the Whispering Forest. This garden was said to be the home of the Golden Bloom, a magical flower that could grant one wish to anyone who found it with a pure heart. The garden could only be found during the night of the golden harvest, when the full moon cast a golden glow over the land. In a small cottage at the edge of Alderwood lived a kind and curious girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of adventure and her deep connection with nature. Her best friend was a wise and loyal owl named Orion, who had been with her since she was a child. Orion had sharp eyes and could see things that others could not, making him the perfect companion for any journey. One day, as the golden harvest approached, Lyra found an old, dusty map hidden in the attic of her cottage. The map was marked with strange symbols and led to a place deep within the Whispering Forest. Along with the map was a note that read, "Follow the map on the night of the golden harvest to find the enchanted garden and the golden bloom." With excitement in her heart, Lyra decided to embark on the journey to find the golden bloom. She believed that with its magic, she could wish for the happiness and prosperity of her village. Orion, ever the faithful friend, perched on her shoulder, ready to guide her through the unknown. As the sun set and the full moon rose, casting a golden glow over the land, Lyra and Orion set out on their adventure. The Whispering Forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets to those who passed by. The first challenge they encountered was the Maze of Shadows. This was a labyrinth of tall hedges that shifted and changed with every step. To navigate through it, Lyra needed to find the light hidden within the shadows. As they entered the maze, Orion's sharp eyes noticed a faint glow coming from a hidden alcove. Lyra followed Orion's lead and discovered a small lantern that emitted a soft, golden light. Holding the lantern high, Lyra and Orion navigated through the shifting hedges until they emerged on the other side. Next, they arrived at the River of Reflections. This river was known for its crystal-clear waters that reflected not only the sky but also the deepest desires of those who looked into it. To cross the river, Lyra needed to understand the true nature of her wish. As she gazed into the water, she saw her reflection in the reflection of her village. She realized that her wish was not just for herself, but for the well-being of everyone in Alderwood. With this clarity, the waters of the river parted, revealing a stone bridge that allowed them to cross safely. Finally, they reached the Valley of Echoes. This valley was filled with the sound of distant voices, repeating every word spoken within it. To find the way to the enchanted garden, Lyra needed to listen carefully and follow the echoes of truth. Orion, with his keen hearing, helped Lyra discern the true echoes from the false ones. They followed the path of the true echoes, which led them to a hidden entrance at the base of a large, ancient tree. Beyond the entrance lay the enchanted garden, a place of unparalleled beauty. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, and at its center stood the golden bloom, glowing with a light that seemed to come from the very heart of the moon. Lyra approached the golden bloom with a heart full of hope and spoke her wish aloud. "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of Alderwood, so that our village may thrive in peace and harmony." As Lyra's words echoed through the garden, the golden bloom began to glow even brighter, and its magic spread throughout the forest and beyond. The light of the golden bloom filled the land, bringing life and abundance to Alderwood and all its people. When Lyra and Orion returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and content, and the people were filled with a deep sense of joy and well-being. The story of Lyra and Orion's adventure and the magic of the golden bloom became a beloved tale in Alderwood, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the magic that can be found in the heart. And so, the enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and mystery, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the golden harvest. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and endless forests, there was a hidden valley known only to a few. This valley was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, but it held a secret more wondrous than any other: the Starlight Crystal, a gem said to possess the power to grant one great wish. In the nearby village of Everwood, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his bravery and his willingness to help anyone in need. Though he lived a modest life, he always dreamed of making a difference in the world beyond his village. One day, while helping his father in the fields, Finn overheard a traveler speaking of the Starlight Crystal and its extraordinary power. Inspired, Finn decided that he would seek out the crystal to make a wish that could help his village.
Hey,
With a sense of adventure and a heart full of hope, Finn set out on his quest. The journey to the hidden valley was treacherous,
You blew
with
his
steep
brains
cliffs,
out.
dense
Nice.
forests, and mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows. Finn was determined, though, and he braved each challenge with courage and perseverance. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl, sensing Finn's noble intentions, spoke to him. "To find the Starlight Crystal, you must prove your heart's purity. You will face 3 trials that test your bravery, kindness, and wisdom." Finn nodded, ready to face the challenges. The first trial was to cross a treacherous chasm spanned by a fragile, swaying bridge. As he stepped onto the bridge, it began to tremble and creak. Finn's heart raced, but he focused on the goal and slowly made his way across, holding tightly to the ropes. Just as he reached the other side, the bridge collapsed behind him, and he knew he had passed the first trial. The second trial was a forest filled with enchanted creatures who had been cursed to sleep until someone showed them kindness. Finn found
Hey,
a small,
you
injured
got him.
fox tangled in thorns. He
Wow,
gently freed the
you blew
fox
his
and tended
brains
to
out.
its wounds,
Nice.
singing softly to calm it. As he did, the curse lifted, and the forest creatures awoke, their gratitude lighting up the dark woods. Finn had succeeded in the second trial through his compassion. The final trial was to solve a riddle posed by a shimmering, silver stream that flowed through the heart of the valley. The stream spoke in a gentle voice. To reveal the path to the Starlight Crystal, you must answer this. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Finn thought deeply, remembering the lessons he had learned on his journey. Suddenly, the answer came to him. A stamp, he said with confidence. The stream sparkled and parted, revealing a hidden path lined with glowing flowers. Finn followed the path to a magnificent cave where the Starlight Crystal rested on a pedestal, bathing the cave in a soft, celestial glow. Finn approached the crystal and placed his hands on it. The crystal's light intensified, and a voice echoed through the cave. You have proven your heart's worth. State your wish, and it shall be granted. Finn thought of his village and the struggles they faced. I wish for my village to have prosperity and happiness, so that everyone may live well and support each other. The crystal's light enveloped Finn, and a warm, golden glow spread out from the cave. When Finn returned to Everwood, he found that the village had been transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the wells were full of fresh water, and the people were smiling and content. The village thrived like never before, and Finn's wish had come true. The villagers celebrated Finn's return, and he shared the story of his journey in the trials he had faced. The tale of Finn's bravery, kindness, and wisdom became a cherished legend in Everwood, and the village prospered with a newfound sense of unity and joy. Finn continued to live a humble yet fulfilling life, knowing that he had made a difference. The secret of the Starlight Crystal remained a treasured story, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that can come from selfless wishes. And so, Finn and the village of Everwood lived happily ever after, their days filled with prosperity, happiness, and the warm glow of shared dreams. The Whispering Brook. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by majestic mountains and lush forests, there was a magical brook known as the Whispering Brook. This brook was famous for its sparkling waters and the gentle whispers that could be heard if one listened closely. Legend had it that the brook could grant a single wish to someone with a true and selfless heart. In a small cottage near the edge of the forest lived a kind young woman named Clara. Clara was known throughout the valley for her generosity and her unwavering kindness. She would often help her neighbors with their chores, care for the sick, and share her meager meals with those in need. Despite her own modest means, Clara was beloved by all. One summer's day, Clara overheard a conversation among the village elders about the Whispering Brook and its magical properties. The village had been struggling with a severe drought, and crops were failing. Hearing about the brook's power, Clara decided that she wanted to find it and use its magic to save her village. The journey to the brook. Early the next morning, Clara set off towards the forest, guided by the tales she had heard. She carried a small knapsack with a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a map she had drawn from old stories. The path to the Whispering Brook was said to be challenging, but Clara was determined to succeed. As Clara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old turtle resting on a large rock. The turtle looked up at her and said, "To find the Whispering Brook, you must first answer my riddle. I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but never go outside. What am I?" Clara thought carefully and answered, "A piano." The turtle nodded and slowly moved aside, revealing a hidden path that continued through the forest. The enchanted meadow. Following the path, Clara reached a vibrant meadow filled with colorful flowers and fluttering butterflies. In the middle of the meadow was a sparkling stream that seemed to hum with a soft melody. Clara noticed a graceful deer standing by the stream, drinking from the water. The deer spoke with a gentle voice, "To cross the stream and continue your journey, you must solve this riddle. The more you take, the more you leave behind." What am I? Clara considered the riddle and then said, "Footsteps." The deer smiled and stepped aside, revealing stepping stones across the stream. Clara carefully crossed the stream, her heart full of hope and determination. The Whispering Brook. On the other side of the stream, Clara found herself in a serene glade with the Whispering Brook flowing gently through it. The brook was clear and shimmering under the sun, with its waters making a soothing, whispering sound. Clara approached the brook and listened closely, hoping to hear what it had to say. A soft, melodic voice from the brook spoke. To receive the gift of the Whispering Brook, you must make a wish with a pure heart. What you wish for should be for the benefit of others. Clara closed her eyes and made her wish. I wish for my village to have abundant water and thriving crops, so that everyone may have enough to eat and live in happiness. As Clara spoke, the brook's waters glowed with a soft, golden light. The light began to spread outwards, flowing through the forest and into the valley where Clara's village was situated. Clara felt a warm, comforting breeze as the magic of the brook began to work. The return home. When Clara returned to her village, she was met with a heartwarming sight. The once dry fields were now lush and green, the river was flowing abundantly, and the villagers were joyfully celebrating. The crops were flourishing, and there was plenty of food for everyone. The village was transformed, and the people were grateful for Clara's bravery and kindness. They celebrated her with a grand feast and honored her with the title of the village's beloved guardian. Clara's wish had brought prosperity and joy to her home, and the Whispering Brook's magic had made a difference in the lives of many. The tale of Clara and the Whispering Brook became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that comes from a heart full of love. And so, Clara's village thrived under the gentle magic of the Whispering Brook, forever blessed by the kind and courageous heart of one remarkable young woman. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the highest mountains and deepest seas, there was a tranquil kingdom known as Eldoria. Eldoria was renowned for its lush green fields, sparkling rivers, and the most magnificent lake anyone had ever seen. This lake was known as Starry Lake because, on clear nights, the surface sparkled as if it were filled with stars. The people of Eldoria loved the lake, for it was said to grant a single wish to anyone with a pure heart who visited it on a moonlit night. However, no one had ever made a wish, as the lake was guarded by a kind-hearted but mysterious old woman named Mirabella. Mirabella lived in a quaint cottage on the edge of the lake. She had a magical way with the creatures of the forest and was known to keep the lake's magic safe. Each evening, she would walk by the water, humming a soft tune that kept the lake's magic alive. One bright summer's day, a young girl named Elara arrived in Eldoria. Elara was an adventurous soul with dreams of discovering something extraordinary. When she heard about the legendary Starry Lake, she decided to visit it, hoping to uncover its secrets. As the sun set and the moon began to rise, Elara made her way to the lake. She saw Mirabella walking by the shore and approached her with a respectful bow. "Good evening, Lady Mirabella. I've heard many tales about the magic of Starry Lake. May I make a wish tonight?" Mirabella looked at Elara with kind eyes and said, "The lake's magic is indeed powerful, but it is not to be taken lightly. What is it that you truly seek?" Elara hesitated but then said, "I wish to discover something wonderful that will bring joy and hope to everyone in my village." Mirabella nodded and said, "A wish made with such a pure heart deserves a chance. But remember, the lake can only grant a wish if it is made for the greater good. Follow the path of moonlight, and you will find what you seek." As Mirabella spoke, she waved her hand, and a soft, glowing path appeared leading from the lake's shore into the forest. Elara followed the moonlit trail, her heart full of excitement and hope. The path led her to a hidden grove deep within the forest. In the center of the grove stood an ancient tree with leaves that shimmered like silver. At the base of the tree was a small, glowing box. Elara approached the box and carefully opened it, revealing a beautiful golden key. Just then, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "You have found the key to the heart of Eldoria's magic. But to unlock its power, you must solve a riddle." From behind the tree stepped a wise old fox with fur as white as snow. The fox explained, "To reveal the magic, you must answer this riddle. I am taken from a mine and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment. She remembered that her village used a special material for writing and drawing. With a bright smile, she answered, "A pencil." The fox nodded approvingly. "You are correct. Now, use the key to open the box beneath the tree." Elara used the golden key to unlock a hidden compartment at the base of the tree. Inside, she found a small, glowing crystal. The fox explained, "This is the Heartstone of Eldoria. It contains the magic of the land. Take it back to the lake, and it will reveal the joy and hope you seek." Elara hurried back to Starry Lake, the crystal in hand. As she approached the shore, the lake's surface began to shimmer and glow even more brightly. The lake's magic enveloped Elara, and she felt a warm, comforting energy. Mirabella appeared beside her and said, "You have restored the Heartstone to its rightful place. The magic of the lake now flows through Eldoria, bringing joy and hope to all who visit." Elara smiled with satisfaction. She thanked Mirabella and the lake for granting her wish. From that day on, Starry Lake shone even more brightly, and Eldoria prospered with newfound happiness and hope. The villagers were filled with gratitude, and Elara was celebrated as the girl who unlocked the true magic of their land. And so, the legend of Starry Lake continued to inspire all who heard it, reminding them that the greatest magic comes from a heart full of kindness and hope. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small village named Briarwood. Nestled between dense forests and towering mountains, Briarwood was a peaceful place where people lived in harmony with nature. But despite its beauty, the village was plagued by a mysterious curse. Every full moon, the village's water sources would dry up, and the people would suffer from thirst until the moon waned. In this village lived a young boy named Tomas. Tomas was known for his curiosity and adventurous spirit. He lived with his grandmother, Eliza, who often told him stories of the ancient times when the village thrived without any curses. One night, as they sat by the fire, Eliza told Tomas about the Crystal Lake, a magical body of water hidden deep within the forbidden forest. The lake was said to have the power to break any curse and restore life to the land. "The path to the Crystal Lake is dangerous," Eliza warned. "Many have tried to find it, but none have returned. It is guarded by fierce creatures and treacherous terrain." Despite the danger, Tomas felt a strong urge to find the lake and save his village. With his grandmother's blessing, he packed a small bag of provisions and set off at dawn, determined to uncover the secret of the Crystal Lake. As Tomas entered the forbidden forest, the trees loomed tall and thick, their branches intertwining like a labyrinth. The air was thick with the scent of pine and moss. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a fox with fur as red as fire. The fox sat in his path, watching him with intelligent eyes. "Where are you going, young one?" the fox asked. "I seek the Crystal Lake to save my village from a terrible curse," Tomas replied. The fox tilted its head. "The path is fraught with danger. You will need courage and wisdom. I will help you, but you must trust me." Tomas agreed, and the fox led him through the forest, helping him avoid traps and dangerous creatures. As they traveled, the fox shared stories and riddles, teaching Tomas valuable lessons about bravery and cunning. After several days, they reached the edge of a dark, foreboding swamp. The air was thick with fog, and the water was murky and still. Tomas hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. "Do not fear the swamp," the fox said. "It is a test of your determination. Focus on your goal, and you will find a way." Tomas took a deep breath and stepped into the swamp. With each step, the mud threatened to pull him down, but he pressed on, keeping his eyes fixed on the distant horizon. Eventually, he emerged on the other side, exhausted but triumphant. The fox continued to guide him until they reached the base of a towering mountain. At the mountain's peak was a cave, and from within the cave came a soft, shimmering light. "The Crystal Lake is inside," the fox said. "But it is guarded by a fierce dragon. You must face the dragon and prove your worth." Tomas climbed the mountain, his heart pounding with anticipation and fear. When he reached the cave, he saw the dragon, its scales glistening like precious gems. The dragon opened its eyes and gazed at Tomas with an intensity that made him tremble. "Why have you come here, little one?" the dragon rumbled. "I seek the Crystal Lake to save my village from a terrible curse," Tomas replied, his voice steady despite his fear. The dragon studied him for a moment before speaking. "To access the lake, you must answer this riddle. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it?" Tomas thought for a moment, recalling the riddles the fox had taught him. Then he smiled and said, "Silence." The dragon nodded approvingly and stepped aside, revealing the entrance to the cave. Inside, Tomas found the crystal lake, its waters sparkling with a magical light. He filled a small vial with the enchanted water and thanked the dragon for its wisdom. The journey back to Briarwood was swift, as the fox guided him safely through the forest. When Tomas returned to the village, he poured the water from the crystal lake into the village well. Instantly, the water began to flow again, clear and abundant. The curse was lifted, and the villagers rejoiced. Eliza embraced her grandson, her eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have done what many thought impossible, Tomas. You have saved our village." Tomas smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The fox watched from the edge of the forest, its eyes twinkling with satisfaction before it disappeared into the trees. From that day forward, Briarwood thrived. The villagers honored Tomas as a hero, and the story of his bravery and determination was passed down through generations. The Crystal Lake became a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding everyone that even the greatest challenges could be overcome with courage and wisdom. And so, the village of Briarwood lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the brave young boy who saved them from the curse. The end. The Sapphire Crown. Once upon a time, in a realm where emerald forests met sparkling lakes and majestic mountains, there was a hidden kingdom known as Eloria. Eloria was a land of wonders, protected by ancient magic and ruled by a wise and kind queen named Seraphina. The queen was loved by all, but her greatest treasure was the Sapphire Crown, a magical artifact that bestowed peace and prosperity upon the kingdom. However, a dark cloud loomed over Eloria when the Sapphire Crown was stolen by a cunning sorceress named Morgana. Morgana, envious of Eloria's harmony, believed that by possessing the crown, she could wield its power and plunge the realm into chaos. With the crown in her possession, Morgana fled to the Shadow Mountains, a treacherous place filled with dark enchantments. Queen Seraphina, though heartbroken, knew that the only way to restore balance was to retrieve the crown. The brave heart of Eloria in the kingdom, there lived a young shepherd named Leo. Leo was known for his bravery and kind heart, qualities that made him beloved by both people and animals. When he learned of the queen's plight, he felt a deep sense of responsibility to help. With a heart full of courage, Leo volunteered to embark on the quest to retrieve the Sapphire Crown. Queen Seraphina, recognizing Leo's noble spirit, granted him a special gift, a cloak of invisibility and a map that would guide him through the Shadow Mountains. With these tools, Leo set off on his journey, determined to recover the crown and save his kingdom. The journey begins. The path to the Shadow Mountains was fraught with challenges. Leo encountered dense fog, towering cliffs, and tricky illusions. As he navigated the treacherous terrain, he met various magical beings, including a talking fox named Felix and a wise old owl named Athena. Felix, who was known for his cleverness, offered Leo a riddle: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Leo thought carefully and answered, "A joke." Felix, impressed by Leo's wit, shared a secret passage that would make Leo's journey easier. He also warned Leo of Morgana's powerful minions who guarded the entrance to her lair. Athena, the owl, provided Leo with guidance on how to use the cloak of invisibility to avoid detection and reach Morgana's fortress. She also gave him a special feather that could reveal hidden truths. The Fortress of Shadows. When Leo arrived at Morgana's fortress, he found it surrounded by dark magic and guarded by formidable creatures. Using his cloak of invisibility, Leo stealthily made his way inside the fortress. He followed the map and the clues provided by Felix and Athena, finding his way to the inner sanctum where Morgana kept the Sapphire Crown. As Leo approached the crown, Morgana appeared, her eyes glowing with malevolent power. She sneered at Leo, sensing the bravery in his heart. "You think you can take the crown from me? It's protected by powerful enchantments," she taunted. The final confrontation. Leo, though afraid, stood his ground. He used the feather Athena had given him to reveal the true nature of the enchantments. The feather illuminated hidden weaknesses in the magical barriers protecting the crown. With this knowledge, Leo carefully navigated the enchantments and reached the sapphire crown. Just as he was about to take the crown, Morgana cast a powerful spell to stop him. But Leo, using the cloak of invisibility in his quick thinking, managed to evade the spell and retrieve the crown. As he held it, the magical energy from the crown began to restore the fortress to its original, beautiful state. The return to Eloria with the sapphire crown safely in hand, Leo made his way back to Eloria. The kingdom rejoiced at his return, and Queen Seraphina was overjoyed to see the crown restored. The crown's magic once again blessed the land with peace and prosperity. Morgana's power diminished, and she was eventually banished from the realm, never to return. The kingdom celebrated Leo's bravery and selflessness with a grand feast, and he was honored as a hero. A new legacy. Leo's adventure became a beloved story in Eloria, a tale of courage and kindness. The sapphire crown continued to shine with its magical light, symbolizing the hope and strength of the kingdom. And Leo, having proven himself as a true hero, lived a life filled with honor and friendship. And so, Eloria remained a land of peace and prosperity, forever blessed by the bravery of one extraordinary young shepherd and the magic of the sapphire crown.